let's switch this off for a second while we're talking.
Cool. Hello and welcome. We are back here in Fieberbrunn. It's the Fieberbrunn Freeride Festival Week. We've got the second competition within 5 or 6 days here. We're kicking it off with the FJT, the 3-star competition for the juniors here on the face just below the Viltiloda. My name is Neil Willerman. I'm here with Flo Orley. Ready to kick things off soon.
Good morning, Neil. Yeah, we saw the big guys battle up on the Viltiloda right above us. What an amazing view here. But today, 5 days later, it's the juniors' turn on almost the same venue. Let's get a bit of a feeling for Fieberbrunn, within this beautiful Freeride week and have a couple of looks at this beautiful region.
Where are we? What can we expect from this place? Wow, the highlights from the juniors last year, pretty mind-boggling stuff. You'd be hard-pressed to tell the difference between a junior competition and a qualified competition these days. These guys are training really hard and really sending it. Unfortunately, it's not the same venue and it's not the same snow as we had, as you just saw in the highlights from the highlights reel last year. We've moved down the mountain a little bit to get away from the wind-affected snow, and it hasn't snowed for a little while, so it's not going to be exactly the same. However, I've got no doubt in my mind that the juniors are going to put on quite a show.
Yeah, we're having one of the driest winters in history in Europe with very little snowfall. The amount of snow is actually fine, as we can see out of those pictures. This was a drone flying over the venue yesterday. It was still some of that Sahara dust in the air, which has covered most of the snowpack in brown. You see the start gate in the far back with some great features right below the start. Then it's a bit of a traverse towards the Lukas ride, and then there's a venue packed with features all the way to the bottom where the finish line is waiting for the riders.
Yeah, you might recognize this from being the bottom of the Viltiloda, the senior competition, the elite competition that is held on Monday, with some of those elite level riders hitting some of these same features that the juniors will have access to. Juniors not starting from the top of the Viltiloda. It's a pretty gnarly, intimidating and exposed area up there, and of course we want to keep the safety as the highest factor with the snow that we have at the moment, or a little bit of sand dusted snow. It's had something falling from the sky recently, but unfortunately it wasn't soft powder, it was Saharan dust. So interesting setup. We've got the melt freeze from last night starting to thaw now. The snow's starting to release and soften up. It's going to have some slush, fantastic conditions for the riders.
Yeah, it's definitely no powder, it's spring conditions, so that means the snow will change a lot throughout the day. As we rode down into a beautiful commentator truck, we rode some southeast facing stuff, and it was already softening up, so really hope for those riders that this venue will give them some soft snow, especially for the snowboarders, who obviously like that soft snow even more than the skiers do.
Regardless of the snow conditions, though, it has been an incredible week. We have seen amazing action go down, and with someone coming from the juniors recently, we had Max Hitzig on the juniors last year. This year, wildcarded into a 4-star, wildcarded then into the Freeride World Qualifier finals. absolutely dominating that, qualifying for the World Tour next year, getting a wild card to the elite competition here on Monday and winning that. So a 3-week senior freeride competition career culminating in a win on one of the most gnarly faces of the Freeride World Tour, Max Hitzig, just crushing it out of the juniors.
Yeah, because he was still with the juniors last year, and it was only his first year with the big ones. We'll have a look of his winning run at the Wildsee early this week to see what all these juniors are capable of.
Fresh out of the juniors, Max Hitzig did this on Monday.
Ja, vor 3 Wochen war ich noch nicht einmal dazu erlaubt, zum 4-Stern-Qualifiers zu fahren. Dann habe ich Wildcard für den 4-Stern bekommen, habe da gewonnen, habe wieder eine Wildcard für die Qualifier Finals bekommen und habe da vor 2 Tagen in Jasna den 2. Platz belegt und mich für die World Tour nächstes Jahr schon qualifizieren können.
Loader in Fieberbrunn. We have our wild card, the Austrian lope dog Max Hitzig. He is dropping in.
Launching there with a massive 3, stomps it.
And then we've got another right 3 back here.
Beautiful stuff there, perfect.
Ja, ich bin mitgefahren heute und dass es so gut funktioniert und dass ich gerade auf dem Podest stehe, das hätte ich echt nicht erwartet. Und dementsprechend bin ich richtig glücklich gerade.
Yeah, this was Max Hitzig's incredible story, incredible run here on Monday, leaving all his heroes behind him, yeah, looking down at them from the podium, and he's only won the Oeysha Juniors. Isn't it amazing?
It's unbelievable. Now we're looking at the start list for the snowboard women as the juniors. We've only got 2 there today, so get involved, snowboard women, if you'd like to come along to a junior competition in the future. Here's the ski woman start list. You can see we've got people from all over the world, Norwegian-dominated start list there, but also with Australians and Bulgarians, and of course local Austrians, Swiss and German in the second half of the start list there.
Don't be confused here, spectators and freeride lovers. We are having alternate starts today to speed the competition up. So we will have one starter from one category and then one from another category. So we don't have to wait for the score, which would mean a 2-minute break after every rider. This way we can have this competition today in 3 or 4 hours rather than in 8.
And you're seeing the start list for the ski men here. Also a lot of Norwegians, not sure how they ended up dominating this competition in terms of the start list, but also lots of Austrians and another Bulgarian to round things out there. So as Flo just said, we will not have the ski men all in a row. We're going to have them alternating with the snowboard woman, and we've got a snowboard woman on course. We'll have other categories as well alternating, but first we have Stina Frauenstein out of Germany. On course now. Looks like the snow has not yet softened that much, so she's making her way out of the start gate and traversing towards the terrain features on the looker's right of the venue, as Flo was explaining during the venue inspection.
Well, I just had a nice discussion with the Freeride Junior Tour organizers yesterday, how we can make the sport of freeride snowboarding more attractive to the girls, and one idea was have them always start first to get the fresh snow. Said that I'm not sure today this was the perfect decision since the snow has not really softened up yet, and Stina really has some still icy hardback to defy on her way to the middle part of the venue.
Yeah, that's right. If any of the freeride snowboard girls out there need some inspiration to get involved in the sport, then have a listen to the Freeride World Tour podcast with Erika Vikander. I think she had some really good things to say about it. Stina on course now, making her way down towards the features, which are quite difficult to find, I think. Like, you can't really see them from this drone picture. Now you can, coming into view, that from the rider's perspective, as you can see her coming down towards the features on the upper right part of that overview screen before, very convex, which means that the whole venue is rolling over, and it's very difficult to see what's coming after, for example, this rollover for Stina. You have to look from the top, look at the photo you probably have on your phone, or maybe even print it out. Having a little butt check there, unfortunately, Stina. A little sit down. It's going to be a control issue for the judging. But you'll have to be looking at those trees that you can see from the top. You can't see the bottom of the trees, but you need to use them as landmarks. And here's a good drone perspective to illustrate that you need to have looked at that from the bottom, from a photo that you look at the top, and use that to find your way to the features that you want to hit.
Nothing, though, can replace the inspection of the venue, like a visual inspection on the day before, where you get a good look at the venue from the bottom, from the opposite side. And Stina's dad told me that the principal of her school would not let her go leave school on Friday to come here to Fieberbrunn for the face check. So this message goes out to all principal schools. Please, if the kids who are at your school have a competition on Saturday, be nice enough to let them go already on Friday to the competition venue to check out their runs, which is going to make for a greater and especially safer competition for the juniors.
That's right. The safety and the sendiness is affected by the ability to inspect. So inspection is important, permission is important, sport is important. Bring the message to the principals. Freeride to the world.
Exactly. As Stina brings her board closer to the finish line, we have her right in front of us. Once again, our commentator truck sits at the best possible spot, right at the bottom of the face, behind the finish line. So we don't only see what you guys see on the screen, we also have the live action right in front of us, and we'll report every little detail which we can see to you, to your living rooms all over the world.
Yes, that's right. Taking another butt check there, unfortunately, that is not going to be good on the control score, but I mean, the snow just looks pretty challenging out there, so big ups to Stina for putting her board in the full line, getting a couple of turns down that steep, icy part there. Not easy out there, like you said. Nice to start first when the snow is fresh. Not nice to start first when it's non-thawed spring snow.
If you look at the area right above her and where she's riding out, you see all those tracks. They are from yesterday, from the organization crew. The snow was slushy, it was steep, it was soft, and I'm pretty sure it will be as well today later on. But we had a very clear night, so there's a solidly frozen layer at the top, and only once this softens up, the riders will get that slushy spring snow, which we're all looking for today.
Stina making her way towards the finish line now. A couple of control issues in that run, and not a whole lot of air to talk of, really. I wouldn't say there's significant feature that was dropped. Didn't really get her board off the ground, so big ups to Stina for making her way down that challenging snow, but I think that the judges probably going to have pretty short work there to decide if Felicia, our next competitor, can get her board off the ground and stay on her feet, then it's going to be an open door for a clear win there.
That is true. All right, as we said, we're having alternate categories. So we had a snowboard girl now, and we'll continue with a skier girl. That's what we meant by alternate categories. And we're in the under 18 categories of the ski girls, and we have Felicia Anderson, who already went through the start gate.
That's right. Felicia not competing against Stina. I take that back and apologies. We will have another snowboard girl competing against Stina. Be dropping probably after this run. But first, like you said, Felicia, under 18 ski woman, making her way out to the Lukas right of the venue, traversing right from the start to get over to some different features. So Felicia just making her way across some of the heavy debris there. Unfortunately, since the Freeride World Tour competition that we had on Monday, the elite level squad, there's been a rise in temperature, a bit of Sahara dust coming in, and diffuse solar radiation, which is complicated words to mean that there have been wet slides, spring melt-free snowpack, and the conditions in the morning here are still a little bit waiting for the sun to do its magic work and soften up the surface into fun slush for the riders.
Exactly. Well, Felicia knows how to deal with difficult snow conditions. It's already her 5th competition this year, and she's been very close to the podium. 4th in Nonda, 5th in Verbier, another couple top 10 places. So I think she's ready for the podium.
Making light work of that challenging snow too. Impressive stuff there from Felicia. You can see these features that the World Tour guys and girls were hitting just on Monday. So cool for these juniors to be following in the footsteps or the ski and snowboard tracks of their idols. Maybe realizing how challenging some of these features are.
Oh, totally. I know that Leo Slemmer, the 2017 World Tour champion on skis, he went to just that area where Felicia was. Nice air by her, by the way. And so a couple of them were actually thinking about copying, you know, the runs of their heroes in the lower part of the venue.
Not sure if they're allowed to flip, though, the juniors in any level of competition.
No upside-down jumps, but at least for line, they can totally follow the traps of the heroes. I'm sure we're going to see some big 360s, but yeah, as you said, juniors are not allowed to go head over heels, which would actually not be a very good idea in these conditions. If you do a half a backflip, not the kind of snow you want to land it in.
That's right. That's right. The skill is there, but the decision making is not always. So safety in mind, there is no inverts allowed in junior competitions. Have to wait till they max hits to get onto the World Tour.
Exactly. Well, I've seen a couple of the juniors doing double backflips in the free riding, so it's not they cannot do it. It's just we have the rules here in the juniors. And congratulations, Felicia Anderson from Switzerland, our first skier girl down the mountain today, as we're jumping back up to see Teddy Eleva. Yeah, her name's really Teddy, like the teddy bear, from Bulgaria. And she is our 2020 winner from the Fieberbrunn Juniors. She was only 16 by then, is 18 now, and came all the way from Bulgaria to compete here today.
Well, she's become 2 years older since last year. Amazing.
Oh, sorry, there was no comp last year because of COVID, so it's from 2 years ago.
Ooh, but taking a toe side face check there, coming aggressively into that difficult snow, quite a lot faster than our other competitor. on the snowboard women's side, but quite a lot faster than our other competitor on the snowboard women's side, but not working out for her super well out of that start gate. If I was a judge, I'd be loving the aggression there. But yeah, control issues always counting against your score in a freeride competition. We've got 5 categories and controls one of them, which can, although it's only one of the 5 categories, completely wreck your score with a big crash. Nice and fast though, getting a board off the ground, ollieing over those refrozen slush tracks, and looking pretty solid here.
Well, we always have these line preparation sessions on the day before the competition, and so she took part in it. I was riding with her yesterday. It was really inspired by the motivation and passion that she and her other 2 Bulgarian mates brought along with them, like such a long travel, and just yeah, to just do everything for a good day in the mountain and for a competition.
Yeah, the passion's got to be there, and it seems like she has it. Good riding skills as well. I'm stoked on how confidently and aggressively she's taking on this challenging snow and searching out features.
I really have to say, you should have seen her yesterday on that soft snow. Like, she was really hauling ass and ripping it. But obviously the conditions now with the still frozen snow, very challenging. I would still say she is a bit faster than our first snowboard girl, Stina.
Yeah, although we do not have live judging today, we'll not see directly as she arrives in the finish corral whether she is one or not. I would say based on the performance so far that I've seen, and I'm not a judge, but I like to speculate wildly since I don't have to face the consequences, that she would be winning so far for me. She's had 1 major control issue compared to probably 4 or 5 from our last competitor, and a bit faster, a bit more aggressive, got her board off the ground. So Stina Frauenstein would still be looking at a second, but yeah. Theodora, or Teddy as you call her, Eleva, looking at a probable win here.
Yeah, the good thing is, Neil, we are totally free to speculate and estimate as far as judging goes, because people will only know, the riders will only know their score like 3 p.m. So by then they probably have forgotten what we said.
Front side 180 coming down to the finish line. Switch now. Very cool to see. Or maybe she'd already done 180 that we didn't see on camera while we're looking at the replay, and she is now riding forwards. Probably, given the look of her stance. Thank you, Teddy. Now Aki out of Australia, from Bulgaria to Australia. We've got Aki Ellis on course.
We got this super international field, and this gives a chance to give her first big shout outs to Australia, because it's about 10 p.m. there, and Aki's mom is sitting with her eyes glued in front of TV. Her dad's actually standing up on the hill, and you know what? He's the commentator for the Rip Curl Pro Bells Beach World Tour Pro Surf competition.
Gracing us with his presence here today.
Yeah, so a big connection from the Austrian Kiwi commentators to the Aussie commentators as Aki is coming down in the venue, going over a huge cliff there.
Above some exposure, controlling the speed well. Making light work of that challenging snow as well, just cruising through it, looking for a feature over to the further Lukas right, going quite a lot further right than we've seen our previous competitors going.
Well, looking very comfortable in that rowdy snow over there. Coming further over, almost towards the half pipe.
That snow is pretty rowdy.
Looks like she's looking for a takeoff there.
Yeah, scoping is key, and getting caught in trees is not.
I can totally mention that some riders are actually pulling back from features they had planned to jump, because in these conditions, the steepness where she's in now, 35, 40 degrees, if you don't air the fall line of like 2 meters, by the time you stomp it and you're ready for your return, you're already at warp speed.
Well, we saw it happen to Leo Slemet in his first run on the Freeride World Tour in this exact zone, and that ended up in a crash, and he had to tone it down a little bit for his second run. These guys and girls do not get 2 runs on the face today, and you've got to bring it down on your feet to have a chance of doing well. So Aki managing to do that today. I feel like maybe she didn't quite find a feature she was hoping to find, hoping to hit.
What I did like was it was very fluid. I'm pretty sure she knew where she was going. I was just wondering that one hit at the bottom where she stopped for a second. I really believe she thought about jumping it and then just changed her mind, realizing with the still hard snow it'd just be too crazy, the acceleration being too enormous. And I'm wondering if it might not have been a good idea to wait for another half hour with the actual start of the competition. Like, can we lean out the window to say that?
Well, hindsight makes us all wise, but I think that might have been some wise hindsight wisdom that you just threw down there, Fro. Like you said, we saw a Bulgarian rider ripping yesterday, and today not ripping so hard in the still refrozen spring conditions. And unfortunately, I think that Aki might have gone down here as well. looks like
about
she's
ripping, sorry to
disappeared.
interrupt you. This is David Berger already on course with a sick air right below the finish, which we can hardly be seen by the cameras. He won the two-star comp in Alpbach today in the under 18 category, so definitely one of the best that Austria has to offer in the under 18. And look at the speed he's riding at. The confidence approaching is huge here. Holy
Wow.
shit.
Massive air onto flat hard pack and stomps. It's like it's absolutely nothing. The legs on this guy must be
Wow.
phenomenal.
And I think he just did a perfect scoping using a tiny little tranny that sits below the big rock and landing exactly where he wanted to. No hesitation to enter it. That was pretty spectacular.
What a run from David
And
Berger.
what is so a stupid mistake? What happened there?
Slamming the ground out of disappointment, and I understand it as well. He was absolutely crushing it, and then did a Jamesa Hampton. I don't know if you guys were watching the Freeride World Tour Elite competition the other day, but Jamesa Hampton just cruising towards the finish line and caught a ski somehow. But let's look at this air. Massive 3 at the top, stomps that, and then this
Look
air
at
down
this
the
air,
bottom.
guys.
Was that a double? Kind of like taps that patch on his way through, and then
Like, that's-
boom.
How can you stop that? This is,
Perfect landing.
and then a flat spin on the ground for like no reason. Did the
Polish
ski
donut
open?
with one ski. I mean, I like it, but it's not going to do any wonders for his score.
Polish donut.
That's a technical term. That's what it's called.
Thanks
Yeah,
for filling
very,
in on skier terms.
very disappointing bottom section for David Berger. And then breaking through that crust, adding insult to injury after putting down what would have been a very high-scoring run.
I can hardly imagine that anyone could like put more action over those 2 features in that upper middle part.
Yeah, I'm excited to see whether other people can match that, and at the same time equally as disappointed for David. Is that Aki walking back up? We've got our previous competitor going back up to get a ski, and look at the camaraderie here.
2 freeride team spirits.
Yeah, that's right. She only has 1 ski now. I guess she'll have to polish donut her way down to the other ski to sort out her gear, or maybe the other one's still further above her. She's still looking around. This guy's having a talk about how disappointing it is to be sick and then crash at the bottom. Not fun for anyone except us that got to watch the top section, because that was amazing.
That is true. Well, either way, a lot of action going on here in Fieberbrunn at the Junior 3-star event. Huge cliff drops, spectacular crashes on the hardback. Wow, what else could be expected, Neil?
Well, to be honest, I wasn't expecting something that impressive. We just saw a nose butter 3 from, not from Aki, from David on his way down to the finish line. Coming in through the Selbach arch. Already seems to have got a little bit over his disappointment if he's chucking a little bit of freestyle maneuver on his way to the finish line, getting a hug from a compatriot there. I think that it's known that that could have been another win to back up his Albach victory if it had come all the way to the finish line with his skis on his feet. It's unfortunately a no score. There's one of the only scores I can guarantee exactly to the points today, that it'll be a 0.00. If you lose your equipment, lose a ski. I know you can lose a pole, but if you lose a ski or take off your snowboard, then it is game over for the day, and you'll be equal last with the others that did the same.
And it's as we're going back up to start and see Tina Blitznikova, our second Bulgarian girl of the day, giving up for Bulgaria. Another girl who was at the line coaching yesterday, and I was really amazed to see her ripping. So let's see how she can deal with the change of snow from yesterday's spring/conditions to this morning challenging.
Bulgaria holding it down. There's always a lot of talk about which countries do the best on challenging competition snow. Bulgaria seems to be pretty up there so far. Scandinavia, Australasia as well. But I mean, like any skier that's a real skier is out there skiing no matter what the conditions, no matter where you're from. So I think there's maybe a little bit too much chat about that.
Well, I mean, seeing you and many other Kiwi riders for the first time as they're coming over to Europe, I'm always pretty amazed how solid they ski when the snow is bad, because Austrian skiers, you typically stay at home and wait for powder days, and you guys just seem to be out there every day.
Well, if you wait for a powder day to go skiing in New Zealand, you won't do a lot of skiing. Maybe it's the same in Bulgaria, and maybe that's why Tina rips so hard. But, I mean, at the same time, we just saw David Berger absolutely stomp some hardpack, and he's an Austrian, so maybe the froth level's infectious. We came over here and took Corona home, but left our froth for hardpack over here with you guys.
But I also know that once there is half meter of powder to keep, there usually once it comes to hopelessly overshoot every single kicker. And go
just Craig Murraying it.
Way too, yeah, Craig Murraying it in general. Yeah, Craig Murray, for you ladies and gentlemen, one of the Kiwi hot spots on the Freeride World Tour. who always is up for the biggest moves of the day. No matter what the
Unfortunately
conditions.
injured at the moment, but not competing on the Freeride World Tour at the Viltsi Loader here the other day. But Tina's on course. Bliznikova is searching out her feature.
Yeah, she talked about it yesterday. Now, but like I said, with the snow conditions now being so tricky, she obviously just changed her mind and going cross-court right above it. And, you know, we have this big cloud here right over the venue now. That's
Wow,
not
that
really
is
what I see.
unfortunate placement. We're sitting here in the sun at the bottom of the venue and watching someone skiing flatlight in the shade. So not easier to find your features, or they just found one just there. And shutting the speed down well, you mentioned that before, Flo, that if you hit a cliff or any kind of drop or feature in this snow conditions, look how hard it is to shut your speed down. So she's hit that from the side, even though it's flat light, even though it's firm snow, and she's just cruising away down while having control of her speed. Because she hit it from the side, she didn't have to shut it down, didn't have to take the skis from the fall line to putting them sideways and docking speed on chattery, refrozen spring snow, which I can't really say enough about how challenging that is. And she's managed to stay on her feet. You know, Aki had a similar run and then lost it in the finish coming into this this wee dip of confusion. So Tina making her way down, maybe not seeing all the features that she was hoping to, but I think good decision making based on the conditions today.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Safely through the finish line with all of her equipment still attached to her body. Tina Bliznikova out of Bulgaria getting a hug from a fellow competitor. I love the compatriotism here. Now back to the under-18 ski guys. We've got Lukas Perdon out of Switzerland. Based on the last name, I assume it's French-speaking Switzerland. And the first name. And maybe Flo can throw down some local lingo for him.
Oui, bien sûr. Bonjour tout le monde en France qui est avec nous maintenant. On devant l'écran, l'ordinateur ou la télévision. Bienvenue avec les compétitions de Junior Freeride World Tour 3 étoiles de Fieberbrunn. Et j'espère que oui, vous avez un bon temps avec des cafés au lait et un petit croissant. Et on gardera les compétitions avec nous aujourd'hui.
Welcome, welcome. I assume you said something about a coffee and a croissant. Also, this guy with a first at the 2-star in Verbier Freeride Week 2020, looking to back that up now that he's in a 3-star here, 3-star being the highest junior. And with the 360, the highest level of junior freeride competitions, again, battling to shut down the speed because of that challenging snow, but making his way straight to another feature, pointing it off that one, keeping his skis in the fall line and just holding on. Please keep it together there. Wow. Nice run. 360 into another cliff, almost as a double, and just pointing it straight to the finish line, backing himself to manage that snow. Really nice run from Lukas there. Let's see it on the replay. Lands, controls the speed, and I think there was a little bit of a shame that he shut down that replay a little bit too early, because the fact that he controlled the speed straight into another hit and then straight into the finish line, I think that's going to be up there.
Yep. I like the way he kind of minimized the 3. He already accelerated so much on the landing after that. And we'll see how Ilona Heckel will deal with those challenging conditions. She just won the Open Faces 1-star competition in Albach just a few weeks ago. So with a victory in her pocket, she goes through the start gate here in Fieberbrunn.
Well, with David Berger being the other winner of the Albach competition, I'm expecting things from our female winner of the Albach competition. She's already skiing very quickly towards that same feature, but past it.
I must say it's a little bit unfair towards the snowboarders. It's so much easier on 2 skis to ride on hard snow than it is on a snowboard.
Yeah, I agree with you that the snowboarders should have been after the skiers in this case. You know, slush is even better on a snowboard than skis, and why not give it to the people that can make the most of it?
Exactly.
Flying across the venue here, and that challenging snow we've talked about a lot and will continue to talk about until it becomes nice and slushy.
Yeah, there's just 2 aspects in the face that point a little bit towards the east, which got the morning sun, and she almost could cut up at the first one.
Having a bit of a sit down there, though.
Yep.
That variable snow transitioning maybe from the southeast to the more northeast part of the venue, which make a big difference for the snow at this time of day.
I'm telling you, just by looking at the body language of the riders, we know that some of them are approaching features and then just not doing what they want to do because any air in this steep part of the face, which just turned up into warp speed into the bump slope, and not everyone can put it down as Lukas Perdon did on the last run.
Yeah, although he did manage it, I was a little concerned for a little while, seeing those skis just bounce and flap around, getting thrown by that refrozen crust. But staying on her feet, making her way all the way down to the finish line. Big ups to our competitor from Austria, Alona Heckel, in the finish corral now. Must be happy to be down and not having sent it to her doom off any of those features.
Yeah. Now Austrians look up to the start gear. Simon Vita from Austria. Yeah, 3rd place today in couple at the under 18. And asked me to greet his mom. Hello, Simon's mom. We don't know you, but we know you're watching right now. And Simon asked us to give a big shout out for you. Thanks for all the support in his young career, as he's going out of the start gate with a bang.
Servus to both Simon and his mama, supporting and encouraging through freeride career that's starting off with, like Flo said, a bang out of the start gate.
And what we do see now is something special. We see a very high traverse, and typically in freeride competition, it is not nice to see traverses, but because we have this half pipe with tons of features, about half a mile to the Lukas right of the start gate, the judges informed the riders that they can do their top airs, traverse all the way over, and then pretty much restart their run, which is very unique for a competition.
Well, usually your score would be docked if you traverse after you've started riding and could keep going in the fall line, but if you just want to get to features and you couldn't start in the fall line, then...
And then now Simon is up for something pretty crazy.
This famous chute, which the riders are allowed to get into but not allowed to try and gap. He's airing into it, making a turn, but getting caught up there. Looked like an uncomfortable crash as well. I hope that no part of his body was too close to that dry dock on the Lukas left of the chute. And then trying to find his way out of the chute, probably not a lot of fun in there, but causing him more trouble with the variable snow and having a little bit of a hip check and hands down, getting caught up in the what looks like kind of punchy, partially thawed crust and steep terrain. And
he's fine, he's waving at us, but that was definitely not the way he had planned to do it. I don't know what happened at the landing as he went into the chute. Like, did his ski got caught up, or was it just a...
Well, I think that chute is like significantly steeper and narrower with like really aggressive transitions on the sides than most people see, and like when they're expecting from the bottom. Race ducking his way to the finish now, though, just to keep some class in the run. But we saw that pretty much exact same thing happen as we see the replay now. That top hit was really nice to some of the Freeride World Tour riders just, you know, the other day. So there's definitely something challenging in there. Now we see, like you said, airing in and trying to put it sideways to shut down speed, but that snow is just way too crap to do that.
That wasn't really a transition, like from where he landed to the bottom of that half pipe. It looked like a
very
90-degree angle.
Yeah.
Saying, like riding a wall down into the ground. I think that's where he tried to put his ski in the right direction. And
acid drop to horizontal wall ride.
Oh, sorry, Seaman, not the perfect run today, but who will do a perfect run in these conditions on this venue today?
True.
Maybe Ola Solien from Norway.
One of our many Norwegian competitors today, Oda Hanna. Hej. Välkommen till Fieberbrunn. And Oda, maybe there was some truth in that Norwegians and Scandinavians being good at challenging snow that I was theorizing at before, because she's skiing fast so far.
Definitely is.
Seen some crazy stuff at Norwegian competitions, especially Roldal. Wonder if Oda aspires to any of that. Making her way through between some trees. A little bit of a traversey side hit there, getting her skis off the ground. Putting it back into the fall line here, making nice turns. Wonder if there's some race background there for Oda. But getting caught up in that funky, aggressively variable snow, not treating her well. Hasn't lost a ski, it won't be a no score, but enough of a crash and a stop that it's not going to be good for a score at all.
Like, if you were to give any advice to the riders, we're still at the start grid right now, if you were coaching any of the juniors, what would you tell them right now?
Get out your phone or your piece of paper, look at the face picture and figure out what part of it is going to be soft. Because the stuff on the facing the looker's left. You can see there's lots of small convex rolls that face the looker's left, and they're going to be softer, and they're going to be better, and they're going to be easier, and they're going to make you look like you're a better skier or snowboarder. That's where you need to try and be, and it's very difficult for a junior to have that maturity in decision making, but I think that's what the advice that I'd give, you know.
And I think I would also tell him maybe go only at 90 or 85% and do a clean run, because I'm not sure we have seen a clean run so far, and we are already watching the 10th rider of the day coming down.
Yeah, I mean, staying on your feet today is going to be the first challenging task to getting a good result. Oda, unfortunately, going down there again, making way to the finish line, maybe a little bit disappointed after the amount of training and preparation and focus you put into a competition like that, and then finding that the snow was more challenging than you expected and having a couple of crashes. But thank you for joining us, Oda, and we appreciate your skiing. Like you said, I think we only seen 1 or 2 clean runs, and one was Lukas Perdon. And we're now in the 11th rider, which is a male skier in the underage category, Martin Bender. And wow, he is flying. And if he can put down a clean run, like he is so far, going really quick and stomping those airs, and that could be a good sign for him, making that high traverse, popping off that one, and making it look a little bit easier than some of the other riders so far.
Yeah, Martin Bender has shown us some pretty amazing riding today already. Check out those results. First place for him in couple today. Second place in Verbier at the last year's Junior World Championship. So he is one of the big names.
One of the big dogs, putting in a grab off that too. Getting style on snow like this is so difficult, and he's doing it so well until now. Just getting bucked on that landing. I don't know how it was possible for David Berger to land it, because this is what I was expecting if anyone tried to take that on. He looked so good, such a obviously strong skier, and landing all those other airs so well with grabs and style, and then going off that big to flat, fatty to flatty, and just absolutely rocked by that concrete level hard pack.
Let's look at the replay. I hope we see that landing again. So comfortable. Look at it. Finds a little roller there. Beautiful.
Yeah, he put in high safeties on the left and the right ski, which is tough if you're not flexible in practice. Yeah, and the slow-mo on this, and just bang. Impossible to land that. I don't know how you'd do it. You need Herman Meyer legs and race skis.
Oh, I think even Meyer wouldn't be landing this on that spot he landed. It was an issue yesterday at the riders' meeting, and Zero Neri, the head of the competition, explicitly warned the riders, if you do air there, do it with as little speed as you can, because that tranny, that means the steep pitch and landing is very short, and he definitely overshot it. Had it used half the speed, he would have arrived at a steeper place, would have had a great chance to land it, but this way, no chance to ride out of this one on his feet.
Yeah, that's right. Martin Bender just bending those skis too much. Tough choice with freeride skis. Do you get something a bit softer and more playful, where you can put his style in like he is on his runs? You can do tricks more easily and butter around and have fun? Or do you go something more aggressive, something stiffer, where you can maybe land airs like that, but make it much more difficult to do playful, fun tricks? So always tough, not even what skis to use, but what mounting point to mount your skis at. Unlike a snowboard, you can't move it around, so you're pretty locked in. And it looks like Martin probably has a playful setup, because he looks like a playful skier, and it makes it even more difficult to land massive airs to hard pack like that.
And massive that it was, and actually quite massive crashes by 3 of Austria's top under 18 skiers. I mean, they were all going big, but it did not pay off for them. And looks like we have a change in the starting list right now.
Thought we were going to see Nelly Arbeck, but instead we have Luca Valan. So welcome to the course, and hopefully Nelly will then be on course afterwards. Luca sending it off the top, having a bit of a control issue though.
Was that a hip check at the landing? Very hard to see for us on that screen.
Certainly some kind of massive control issue if you have to go sidestep and back up and retrieve a pole. But now just flying down the venue with max speed, looking to make it up for the control issue that they've had.
Yeah, so he did a beautiful left and 3, if I saw it right. It would have given him like 10 to 15 points, right? But then he stopped. It was a small crest, lost the pole. Probably was minus 10, 12 points. So it's almost the same score. It was, start gate. Sorry. Chill. This is unreal. These boys are just going so huge in these conditions. I can't believe it.
Yeah, like when David first sent that and landed it, I was just like, maybe it's not as like fat to flat absolute doom as I thought. But no, I think it is. He just Max Hitzig'd it, you know? He did something that everyone thought was impossible, and it turns out it is almost impossible. And the first guy happened to land it. Other people were going and trying, and it's not working out.
Luca just left a half-meter bomb hole in what is actually frozen hardpack. That was a huge impact on that landing. Wow.
Yeah, I hope that his body's feeling right after that. One good thing about being a junior is that I feel like you bounce more and you recover faster. So hopefully Luca doesn't need to dip too deep into the well of like, I'm still growing, my body will heal after that kind of landing. But big ups for sending it. And yeah, like you said, off the top there, hip check, slide out, lie down, and then airing over the pad where I think David tapped that. I think that the difference was that this guy, Luca, just sending it to that flatness, losing a pole again and just getting bugged. It hurts my knees even to watch that, but I think what you need to do is double down that mini pad. Emma on course now. Out of Norway again, we've got Emma Opsan, under 18 female skier, and getting a bit of flat light again. Super bad luck with the clouds only covering the venue. And Emma, speeding it down to here, avoiding that sandy avalanche debris.
Yeah, that avalanche debris was also discussion yesterday at the riders' meeting, and people said as long as it's soft, you can go right through it. But in the condition like today, you really want to avoid that. Just like
I don't think it's soft.
No, it is not soft.
I think it looks like refrozen sandy ice death balls.
The only thing soft nearby is my Softies handkerchief package here, which I'm going to be using for a second. But definitely not the snowpack.
Well, I'm impressed that she stayed up through that challenging snow as well. You can see she's getting a little bit back in on the inside ski. Technique is so much more difficult to display well in snow like this, and eventually being her undoing. She's just ditching that pole. Wasn't even far away, but she can't be bothered getting that. That is too much effort for Emma today. She has had enough of that face in that run. Just going down, deciding it was too disappointing to want to retrieve the other piece of her equipment. Someone else will get that for her, or she'll go back later. But she's out there quickly. I wonder if she just decided it would seem like too much of a control issue to have to walk back up and was like, well, sacrificing the pole for points.
So if you lose any crucial part of equipment, be it a ski, a back protection, a helmet, or anything, what is it there, an airbag if it's the Field World Tour, then you are disqualified from this run. But losing a pole is not part of the equation, right?
Usually you pick it up, though. I'm not saying she should have. I am saying I kind of enjoyed her just being like, whatever, I don't care. But, you know, if you can, you probably should.
If you can, you probably should. But I mean, who judges if she could have done it? As we look back up to the start gate, a sweet helmet must be a Norwegian.
I'm pretty sure it is Norwegian, not just because it says Norwegian next to their name on the start sheet, but because I think it is the son of Vale Gangaskar, who runs the Relive competition, the iconic 4-star World Tour, and now maybe only qualifier final of the Norwegian Tour, but incredible competition that gets run up there in Relive, and I'm pretty sure this is his son, or at least a relative, getting up and involved in this part of the venue. You've got Vale.
Yeah, not many competitions with such a high level of riding are there on this planet. Wow, and he almost turns this 2 features into a double.
Yeah, nice. That's exactly how that looks like it should be hit. Bit more of a tranny on it, finding his way to land in a place that isn't concrete doom, skiing with great technique, and sending it onto the traverse tracks. Blatant disregard for a half-meter icy ditch. That can be my landing and run out. Vale Gangaskar.
And you see this claim, he is stoked, and the riders at the finish line are hooting and hollering. What a run by Vale Gangaskar, the first one to succeed in hammering one down without a major mistake today on the Barcelona.
I can't get over that. This guy and Loic
is styling him. Bomb.
Yeah, solid in the air, shutting that speed down, coming into the next one, taking
speed away. Very smart, just the right
very smart skiing.
Yeah, between the ice balls. And then also the bottom one, which we don't see.
Oh, the bottom one was my favorite. We'll watch that again in the highlights reel later. First, we've got Sona Taudin out of Switzerland, female under 18 skier. Like we said, we're alternating between the skiing guys and the skiing girls at this point. The snowboarding, that'll be alternating later. And that's so the judging can be done more quickly. The snowboard panel or the ski woman panel is judging, while the other category, usually the ski man, is skiing. Makes everything a lot faster. That's why we're able to send it bang, 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 and we struggle to keep up in the commentary booth sometimes.
We are luckily Sonia has to slow down a little bit going over this horribly icy avalanche snowballs. And guess what? Last 5 starts in competitions for her this and last year, 5 podiums, 2 victories, 2 seconds, and a third. So she is being spoiled by her results.
Just raining podiums on Sonia. Will she manage to stand on the box again today?
I did my first real competition when I was 24, and she has only like 5 podiums, only being 17 years old.
Probably has 10 years of experience by the time that you started.
Yeah, and she goes all the way over, crosses that half pipe, as it's being called.
The stunt ditch.
The stunt ditch, yeah. So at the World Tour, we saw riders in past years to fly over the half pipe. Can you imagine gapping this? So it was explicitly prohibited for our riders this year, the juniors, to gap it, but they can, of course, ride into it and out of it.
That's right. Gapping, I think, even more difficult today than it is in other competitions due to lack of snow, and starting from the start, the juniors are starting from lack of speed. Not lack of motivation or ambition.
So what it like, she took the advice. She skied all the way over to the Lukas ride and then came back on this more sunny patch with softer snow, but she did not pack a whole lot of features into her run up to this point.
Yeah, I feel like that's going to be a part also now with this control issue and having the hip check lie down. The judges would dock that traverse at the top because it didn't go to a feature that she made the most of. She went over there, maybe saw that it wasn't what she was hoping, made her way back to the steeper section in the middle, hoping to find a different feature. Freestyling it at that stage doesn't usually work out as well, and then having a control issue. So maybe not a podium today against the run for Sonia.
Well, this might be one of the few competitions where you can actually be on the podium even if you do have a major mistake, because of the challenging conditions. Riders are having troubles putting clean runs down in this 2022 Freeride Junior Tour 3-star competition on the World Tour venue of the Vale.
Presented by Dynastar. Next in the competition start gate, we've got Xavier Schweri out of Switzerland.
It's not Xavier Delary, I'm pretty sure about that.
Well, I know he can probably ski as well. Taking a completely different take on this. No, I've seen the 360 off this already, but it didn't go so well. So he's going for the grab to slightly flaily waves. Stomps it though.
The takeoff he just took, the organizing committee decided to build a little bit of a platform there because it was a hit that many riders were going to take. So they were worried that rider number 10 goes there, there's no more snow. So they did shovel a bit of snow there for half an hour. So it's actually a really nice takeoff, almost made for a trick or a nice clean air.
Or a nice clean grab like this guy just put in. Clean grab, half the air time. Bit of a running man or arming wave, arming run for the second half of the air time. But it's all about the landing, and he stomped that.
Yeah, Xav sits on rank number 193 in the 52-week seeding list, so he definitely is aching for some points to go to all the events he wants to go to in the coming season.
Well, really good way to do that. Airing into the chute.
What
and
are we going to see here?
Yeah. Zav sending it, airing it into the chute in the way that we saw our previous competitor struggle with. Not trying to shut it down and get back into the chute, just going straight up and across through the variable snow to air out of the chute, and then come back and hit the same air that Jess Hodder hit when she won the World Tour here on Monday. So goes the high shifty touch, a little bit of wave in the air. I think it's a bit harsh on that the first time that I talked about it. But then the second half of the run, airing out of the chute, getting onto the ridge and then taking that air straight onto the not that steep landing and just turning it into a point it to the finish kind of thing that the Jess Hodder made look really good the other day, and he has as well. I think it's going to be a run right up there in the scores.
He went way further than Jess Hodder did on the World Tour competition day. I know this is exactly the same hit that the Austrian Simon Vita was playing to hit as well, but unfortunately had a crash before then. As we see Victoria getting out of start gate with a nice air.
Yeah, that was solid.
Wow, and she's fast too. Wow, getting the judges alert as she's approaching the mid part of the venue.
Yeah, it's always good to start things off with a bang, huh? You know,
Yeah.
if you come out of the start gate and manage to do something that no one's done before you, when the judges have already seen a bunch of riders, then, like you said, the eyes open wider, the stoke gets higher, the froth levels build.
And that way the score will go up as well.
Boom, 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 boom. Like when Mario eats a mushroom. Do it, do it, do it. That's what's happened to a score right meow.
I think she's in her 60s, score-wise, not age-wise. Oh, that was until like...
Until right then. Commentators curse there, Flo.
Oh, man.
Bendy knee there as well. I hope that
all the time.
Sonia is not injured because it does not look like she's getting up quickly.
well, if you do fall down today, you're definitely going home with some bruises and blue spots all over your body, even if you don't like break a leg.
Yeah, Victoria, they're not looking comfortable. Ikke bra för Victoria. Förlåt. Det är inte så bra att se er.
That top part was really nice.
Yeah, it was. Super good run from our Norwegian skier Victoria Ingere, I should say. But looked like a pretty uncomfortable fall for her left knee there. You can see the left ski court just as she comes around there. It makes me uncomfortable to see it. And I don't know if you know the system. I'll talk to you about it now in case you don't. That if you are okay, you give a wave. And if you're not okay, you stay motionless. You stay lying on the ground so that you communicate without having to talk that someone should come and help you. And she's starting to get up now. I don't know if she's given a wave or not. Seems to be gently feeling her knee to see if it's going to be good enough to get her to the bottom. And, not sure if it is. I've got someone coming down to help her now. Also making their way through the challenging snow and not wanting to ski too fast because if the doctor gets injured on the way to help someone, it's like an ambulance running someone over on their way to rush to a heart attack. So Victoria just waiting to get some help. Unfortunately, very similar to the crash that we saw Jamessa Hampton take. So here we are in the commentary booth. Happy to be comfortable here, sitting in the sun, talking about how good people are at freeriding and really enjoying watching that. But unfortunately, seeing what might be an injury now today for our young Norwegian competitor Victoria. Just seeing the medical help coming towards her now, and we'll check if she can make it down under her own power or if she's going to have to get some assistance to make it to the finish line and medical help.
Yeah, very experienced medical team in place here in Fieberbrunn with 13 years of Freeride World Tour experience. That's how long the tour's been coming here, and add 5 years of competition to that before the Freeride World Tour times. So there's guides and doctors in and all over the face at the bottom and at the finish line. So there's a ski right in front of us. You can take any rider to a medical spot within a minute. So let's hope that our skier girl here has nothing yet. More than
all the best, Victoria. Now we have Julius Bauer out of Germany and the under-18 ski guys on course. I assume that they have communicated that he is not planning to go where she is. She's not standing in a dangerous section. She's not under a cliff or anything like that. I think we've got more medical help down on our way as well. I think it was a ski dude that arrived, and now we have a doctor coming. Well, Julius is making his way across the pretty unfun-looking Abbey debris to get to some more fun part of the feature. Some fun part of the face with some fun-filled features. I keep saying fun because I'm trying to cheer myself up and trying to cheer you guys up from having watched someone just get injured, which is not fun. But Julius making his way all the way over towards the stunt ditch on the Lukas right, skiers left of the lower half of the Viltilode venue. So Julius now coming down towards the stunt ditch. This is the area that people have gapped it before, airing into it himself and just getting straight onto that challenging snow. I think that the transition, like you said, Flo, it's ultra short in there, and it goes from airing into terrible snow on the Lukas left where it's still shady to too soft on the Lukas right where it catches skis, where it's that sharp transition comes really fast up and at you. And Julius finding out about that the hard way.
Yeah, and once again, yesterday it was so steady, soft snow conditions all over the mountain. That's when the riders chose the line. I do not think anyone was expecting having to ride this morning in so challenging conditions and so variable conditions. As you say, in the halfpipe, left side, frozen, icy, right side, almost too soft to ride up that wall. So,
but Julius making the most of this bottom section. Nice air out the bottom there. Can think that it has had a little bit more sun and a little bit softer. This bottom section, which is a bit more southeast facing, seems to have, northeast I should say, seems to softened up a bit more, and now it's less challenging to get to the finish line. Really enjoyed that bottom air that he sent. Let's see it on the replay here. Puts the skis in the full line, keeps his hands low, which is it's really key to keep your hands low during a drop.
Exactly.
If you're learning how to do free ride and watching this at home, wondering how to ski like these guys and girls and snowboard like these guys and girls, and making your hands low and your legs come up as you jump off a drop is key to being solid in the air and then stomping it.
Exactly. So, no more alternation between boys and girls. The skier girls are all down, and it'll be just the boys now with Patrick Lehnert from Germany, bib number 20, dropping in now. Doing a
solid
nice double at the top.
Very cool way to approach the top.
And
like we said, if it's original, the judge is going to like it.
And he sends big props to his homies in Erding in Germany. Hey, everyone in Erding. And you guys should be well soon. Gute Besserung. It looks like all his friends are down with Corona, and he's the only one out here skiing. That's why he's sending greetings back to Germany.
And sending this cliff as well, but not quite catching the transition there. Getting bucked by that landing. It is just tough work out there. So big ups to Patrick for sending that one. Also, we are alternating, but we're alternating between the under 18 and under 16 categories now. So that's why I've got two different judging panels for the two different alternating ones. But Patrick just sending this as a triple, then having to split his legs to avoid an ice ball, I believe, and almost getting caught up on a track on his way out too, but managing to hold that together. Very cool stuff from the under 16 category. Patrick Lehnert, I believe it was the first under 16 ski guy, so way to get the category started. And a big love to the sick homies at home, sick skiing to celebrate and commemorate that. Wow.
A lot of dedication, passion, and effort by Patrick. This drop in the middle is, he lands like in an old avalanche run.
Yeah, I think you got to take a little bit less speed, huh? Back to the under 18 ski guys. Got Alex Williams on course out of Switzerland.
And he's going all the way to the skier's left. Finally, we have time to watch that in a little closely. Going to the air at the flag. It's going to be a left-hand 3, and there it is.
Nice. Little bit sat down on the landing, but I will absolutely give that to him.
I think today this is a clean landing.
Yeah, it's clean enough. Yeah, the judges know that as well. You know, they've seen so many people having absolute rocking times and not in a good way on landing almost anything. So putting a 3 out there, spreading the legs for points and style.
Don't go so fast.
No, double down it like David did. There you go. That's the way to do it.
20.
Just holds it together. Almost explodes out of that landing. Comes up, right ski off the ground, pointing sideways. Left ski doing the right thing and holding it all together for him as we see one of the medical staff or maybe our injured rider Victoria making their way off the venue and then popping off that one. Not going massive, but just styling it out. He's already gone massive in this run, tweaking in a shifty. He was really fast, a really fast run today. 3 off the top, double in the middle. I think that run's going to be right up there. I love the slow-mo in this wind-up. You can see he spreads his legs, goes for the grab, doesn't quite get it, but then a little bit maybe side slappy on the landing, but like we said, that is clean enough for today. And then figuring out the right way to hit this drop flow.
Yeah, I was worried it was going to be too fast, but he did slow down, and he finds that same pocket as Austrian David Berger, who fell at his bottom air. And I think that puts him right behind the Vale Gangaskar, if he dared to even think about the score.
If you dare to think about it. Yeah, I'm going to call that the Big Mac because David Berger was the first one to hit it. And it's a tribute to him since he nailed it and then crashed afterwards. And it's kind of, you have to do it as a double. A Big Mac has another piece of bread in the middle, right? So I can keep talking about it if you want.
David Regensberger was one of the first people to ever jump in on a free competition here about 20 years ago. And he was also called Berger. David Regensberger. From
was he on a snowboard then?
On a snowboard, yeah.
Yeah,
so
nice.
It's a double Berger. It's actually like a Big Mac.
Yeah, the double Big Mac. Sam Buggy on course now. Back to the under 16s out of Switzerland.
We're going from Big Macs to Buggies.
Big Buggy Mac. Airing off that one as a side hit. Getting a little bit rocked by those frozen traverse tracks. That doesn't look like a lot of fun.
I do not see any softening of the snow happening. Cogners are worried to start later because they thought that the snow would be too soft or even dangerously soft. But we're an hour into the competition, and it's still the same as it was for bib number 1.
Yeah, that little bit of cloud that seems to be hanging around. You can see there's patches of light and patches of sun, patches of shade, which seems to just be permanently stuck on this venue. I don't know how that's happening. It's sunny almost everywhere else.
I can tell you it's the famous Wildsee Loader cloud that also put a stop to the temporary stop to the World Tour competition on Monday earlier this week. It's just this huge bowl, right? An old glacier bowl that kind of grabs the whole humidity of the area around it and turns it into a cloud. Sam
Buggy. Looks like he's got something hanging off his backpack there. Maybe his airbag strap is come undone.
Maybe
need to go under your crutch and up onto your belt strap, kids. But maybe it's his buggy. Getting a nice little air off there, tweaking it out, making sure that his skis don't pick up too much speed as he keeps them across the fall line, because, like you said, that snow is not really softened, and picking up speed can be a bit of a doom factor here on this steeper part of the venue.
Yeah, so typically most riders that were talking about riding in this part of the venue yesterday were going for this cliff band, which is just to his right now. But as we can tell, a lot of them, I think including him, just realized if I jump that now, chances I'm going to explode right afterwards in the run out at 100 km an hour on the hardback are just too big. So they're looking for alternatives. And then that's the difficult part. You're looking for alternative. You're in an area which you're not exactly sure which features to hit, and then you're unconcentrated, and then these things happen, because we have seen at least 7 or 8 riders have troubles in this area.
Exact area, just like you said, tap your focus, tap a focus, and when you lose your focus, you know, it's not what you want in the middle of a free ride run, and that snow causing real trouble as it changed from the slightly more easterly to the slightly more westerly aspect, and a bit more frozen there, even less thought out. And unfortunately not the day for Sam Buggy. Gonna head back up to the top. Got men's under 18 in the start gate. Philipp Oberordner out of Austria. On course now. I've been really impressed with the under 18s today, actually. I mean, all the categories as well, but under 18s just look so solid. I totally jinxed him there. Wow, I jinxed that guy. He looked solid coming out of the start gate. Just skiing straight into that air, taking it pretty quickly, and that accidentally being his doom, really. I mean, like, hit that side air, landed straight into the refrozen traverse tracks with speed, and threw both his shoes. Almost looked like he was spinning it, or thinking about spinning it. Came in with his arms wide, got a bit bucked by the takeoff, and looked solid enough, and then those bloody frozen traverse tracks just looked like absolute doom.
Neil, I've been sitting in this booth a couple of times today, and most of the times I was aching to be up there myself, being a rider rather than a commentator. But today I'm really happy I'm here in this booth with you.
Yeah, I think you mean this year instead of today, man. I also have absolutely no jealousy, all of the respect and none of the jealousy for these riders competing today. So impressed with what they're putting down, and so happy that I do not have to do it myself, because, wow, I mean, I've competed on similar stuff like this in New Zealand before. And yeah, you got to have a pretty warrior mindset.
You're in the start gate, right? It's one of the big days of the season. You want to show to yourself, to your friends, to your sponsors, to everyone that how well you can ski. You want to get a good result. That's what you're here for. But at the same time, you see those competitors ahead of you landing their jumps into like icy patches and losing their skis, just like being ejected over snowballs that are solidly frozen. Whew, that's a very difficult mindset.
I shiver just thinking about it. So big ups to Philip. We know you're a good skier.
Yeah,
we've seen a lot of people go down hard today, and like we've got no doubts about your ability, your determination, or your focus. Just the snow quality. It is tough.
It is tough.
It's hard when you're sitting in the start gate and you see people like hit an air and go out of view, and then you hear them land. Suck, and then you hear them try and slow down afterwards. You know, oh man.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as we see Philip coming down, get ready for our next rider talking about Startgate, because that's Nico Draxl, and he is the winner of the two-star competition in couple in the under 16. He was second in Alpbach, fourth in St. Anton. So 3 comps, a first, a second, and fourth. Like a 16-year-old to look out for sure.
Yeah, we're getting through them. We're like almost halfway through it. How many competitors do we have today?
No,
about a third of the way through.
We're a third of the way through. Maybe we should send those guys back up and restart the competition at like 1 p.m. when it's nice and soft and slushy.
Let's just do what the seniors did and have 2 runs. And
that's a great idea.
Yeah, I think they deserve it if they want it. You know, imagine if it doesn't soften and they send them again.
Why is the OC not asking us what to do? We have all the answers.
We obviously have all of the answers and want to take none of the responsibility.
A great run for you now, as we're seeing Nico Draxl going around the fence boundary to that big man-made takeoff. Woo!
Sending that one, getting a bit bucked on the landing as well. Kind of hard to see from this perspective where he held it together or not. Certainly had some kind of control issue on landing, but he is up and riding now.
It was definitely what they're calling a stage 2 or stage 3 or even a backslap landing.
Yeah, I feel like it's -1 for the snow conditions today, though, right?
It's technically -10. It's only -1. Approaching the Big Mac very cautiously, which I like, you know. Better to not go too fast, but then have a good landing. Very different approach, doubling in and doubling out.
Yeah, with only one pole as well. I think he lost a pole right up there and just did a Victoria and was like, whatever, I don't care.
I think he needed a free hand to hold on to the bushes there for a second.
Yeah,
to
could have
control
been.
his speed. Very smart,
Could have
actually.
been.
I do see. Yeah, one pole only. You're totally right.
Yeah, he kind of like side aired into the pad on the Big Mac, taking a side order of fries on the double Big Mac. And putting it to his feet, you know, I mean, like he went slower and he went smaller, but he didn't crash. He didn't explode on landing.
Oh, Neil Williman getting all fast food for us on this Freeride World Tour Junior competition. Here we see the
comparing it to
landing
things I
again.
understand, you know.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
That landing was better than I thought, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
And it cost him a pole, but hopefully not as many points.
I really like that. I would love to see the replay of that Berger error. He slid kind of into that takeoff very cautiously.
Kind of side hopped.
Yep. He probably got some info from the riders up there to take all the speed away. I'm not sure they told him to leave a pole there, but that's what happened anyway.
Now, Ben Clark out of Germany, and I believe this guy's a ski patroller here, actually.
Ben Clark, who is it? Ben Clark? Is it Superman a Ben Clark? Kent Clark.
Kent Clark, I think.
Clark.
And also spelled pretty differently. But this guy just wants to give a massive shout out to his ski patrol friends here at Fieberbrunn who've moved their shifts around so that he can not work today and do this freeride competition. So massive shout out to the international crew. You see we had some Kiwis there as well, I believe. Some ski patrol Kiwis here at Fieberbrunn.
So that means if he was to lose his ski, one of his best mates would bring it to him.
Maybe they wouldn't. We worked today so you could do this competition. Get your ski yourself.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Neil Williman and Flo Orley trying to soften up this snowpack by humor a little bit. We're doing all we can to make things easier for our
We're trying to shine. We're trying to get the sun to shine.
And we have a new line with Ben Clark, Supermaning down.
Superboy over the trees.
And a very fluid run, like no issues so far. Nothing super spectacular, but also...
Yeah, creative though, original, using his local knowledge to get all the way to the Lukas right of the venue and hold on there. Wow, that is fast down through this bottom section, but managing to keep it together so far, disappearing behind this little hump of doom.
Following by Jamesa Hampton went down on the World Tour, unfortunately hurting his knee in that run, not at warp speed as well. But Superman, Ken Clark, Ben Clark from Germany defies gravity and races through the finish line almost all the way to a commentator truck. Slow it down,
just
buddy.
shut it down. Manages to eventually stop when he's past most of the spectators, getting high fives and congratulations from the crew at the bottom. Nice to have him in the finish line. Looked like he was like kind of throwing his hands in a way that might mean he was disappointed he missed something, but I don't know, man. So many people crashed today. That's probably going to be pretty good.
David Jurchenthaler, 16 years of age, and as far as we know, he has only done one freeride competition in his life, which was 2 years ago in Google, a 2-star.
Well, starting this one off with a bang.
Well, he's definitely put some training in since the last event.
Yeah, 360 off there, going for the tail grab. Not sure if he quite got it, but the intention was there. And
the landing was
style
free too. It is one of the best threes we've seen so far.
Yeah, a little bit backseat, but like you said, it's good enough for today. That landing was pretty flat as well as hard too, so I will definitely give it to him.
He's going for fast food, it seems.
Oh, side airing that and stomping it. Finding the mini transition. You're saying tranny before. You don't mean transsexuals. You mean transitions.
Yeah,
where
sorry
like
if that confused anyone.
Yeah, you know, take speed, hit tranny. The words in skiing can be very confusing. But anyway, no confusion for David here today. Just pointing it out the bottom of the venue. Very fast run with the amplitude tricks. New line off the double Big Mac and stomping that. One competition under his belt. Wow. Is it going to be a second competition in his first podium?
And I'll tell you something. Talking about under 16, I wonder if you have seen anything like that so far in today's competition. Look at that stomp.
Nice stomp legs.
The Big Mac.
Transceiver in full send mode today.
Wow.
Yeah, it's going to be. That's my vote for a podium there, if not a win in the under 16 category. David, congratulations. Commentary booth podium.
Yeah, the judges are judging, ladies and gentlemen, but we do not get the scores. We'll only receive them after the competition at all at the same time. So
Matteo Fioni out of Switzerland, back to the under-18 guys skiing category. Also, shout out to the judges today. We've got some voluntary judges like Andrew Pollard, Freeride World Tour rider. Had Jess Hodder, Freeride World Tour rider, 4-running today.
Exactly.
And got a bunch of the crew from the World Tour organising, helping, getting involved, and helping push the sport by inspiring the juniors. So big ups to them, and big ups to our competitor we've got on course now, Matteo Fioni out of Switzerland. Italian, Swiss, maybe?
Matteo Fiorini, actually, yeah.
That's what I got you here for.
Thank you, at least I'm here for something.
Yeah. Say the things with the words.
Matteo Fiorini.
Making his way towards the stunt ditch now. Seen some good action out of the stunt ditch so far today. Choosing to go look his left of it so far. Nice turns there. The technique is just, yeah.
Left side 3. Whoa, take that speed out.
Wow, well, to held it together as it landed like off balance on one ski and just pointing it through the bottom at absolute warp speed. Wow. I am happy to see him still on his feet, coming towards the finish line, hands on his head.
He was not sure himself he was going to be able to stay on his feet.
Yeah, and that landing on the 3, back seat, off axis, and on one foot, somehow decides to turn that into a straight line through the steepest part of the face. I didn't think you saw it on your screens, but he came through claiming hands on his head. He wasn't sure if he was surprised or stoked or don't know what was going on, but crazy run from Matteo. I enjoyed that a lot.
Matteo! Matteo! And as Matteo is racing by the commentator booth, we'll wave him over here to give him. Yeah, come here for a quick. I can't hear myself anymore.
Might have a impromptu interview happening here. At the moment, we've got Jakub Hedovich out of Austria on course, coming towards the double Big Mac and doubling down it, but not getting the right transition. Getting absolutely bucked off the pad somehow. I don't know what happened there. I thought he came in the right way. I thought he was doing everything right, and suddenly he was in the air backwards and sideways. Not actually backwards, I'm exaggerating massively, but it's certainly not the way he wanted to be. Well, we just wait for him to recover his ski and hike back up to his hot tub-sized bomb hole to recover his gear and get down to the bottom. We're going to have an impromptu interview with that crazy run we just saw. Matteo Fioni, welcome.
Fiorini, what an amazing bottom bar. We just saw you racing down about 120 Ks in bottom bar. Was this what you had planned, or did you just get a little fast in your thing and just started to point it down at the last moment?
Yeah, I thought the snow was going to be a little bit softer, but when I landed March 60, I couldn't handle the speed, so I just went straight down. And yeah, that's it.
Were you guys informed at the start gate that conditions are somewhat more difficult than expected? Yesterday it was all slushy, everyone was having fun in the soft snow, and it seems like some riders are ripping as if the snow was still soft.
Yeah,
we score well. Enjoy the rest
Congratulations,
of the day.
Matteo.
Coming over, Matteo.
Sun God rider out of Switzerland. I love the way that he very modestly put that, like, yeah, the snow wasn't good, so I just went down, which meant I just straight-lined Naardum at over 100 kilometers an hour, having come out of a 360 into another drop. So I just decided to, you know, do the most difficult way to get to the finish line. As we see the rest of the run from our last competitor, Jakub Hedovich out of Austria in the under 16 category. I think he was maybe one of the first guys to hit the classic double Big Mac from the under 16 category. Not working out for him, unfortunately, leaving a hot tub-sized bomb hole in the landing there. Hope that's not going to be an extra side of whipped cream on your fries for anyone else that tries to hit that.
I like the hot tub size bomb hole. Oof.
waiting around in there. Next up, we're going to have Paddy Dada, the dad, out of Switzerland. We've had some non-Swiss sounding names for the Swiss competitors today. Paddy, don't think I've met a Swiss dude called Paddy before. I've had someone called Williams, Alex Williams out of Switzerland.
Some people have really weird names like Neil Willie man.
Yeah, who would name the kid that? Paddy Dada, cool transfer air up there. Tweaking it out in the air and landing on a transition with an airplane turn and making nice work of that one as well, where other people have struggled. As you turn into those traverse tracks, they can easily grab at your skis, and him just flatly refusing entry to ski grabbing for those traverse tracks.
Yeah, but definitely maximizing his core in the top part, putting 2 airs into those first 5-6 seconds of his run. Very well done. And now he has a full face still in front of him with this very high traverse. Let's see if he's going to choose the left or the right side of the infamous half pipe, which is pretty much a man-eater today.
I don't think many people have got through there at all. Not many, if any, through the stunt ditch. Paddy taking a nice air, and then threeing this one, landing that. Everyone struggled to shut down their speed, and it's no exception for Paddy, but he manages. And then doubling down through there as well, and also just choosing to point it towards the finish. Quick run from Paddy there.
Wow, that was probably the first run we've seen today where it was not really any visible mistake. 2 clean out top, does the traverse, goes for the 3, shuts down the speed, and straight down for finish.
No, I think there's been a couple of non-mistakes now. Certainly the exception rather than the rule, but Paddy, nice 360 there, almost nose-tapping on the rollover. But yeah, like you said, clean from top to bottom. I think it's going to be right up there in the judges' book.
Definitely.
Now Tim Bloom, back to the under 16 category. Ski guys on course. Just bobbling his way through that heavy debris. Not a lot of fun, but making it look easy. Nice race style turns. Like we're saying, the snow just accentuates your technique. If you've got good technique, then it really shows here because you can hold it together much more easily. And Tim showing that he has that, which is also really good for your score. You'll be faster, you'll be more fluid, you'll be more controlled, you'll have better technique. Hitting half of the categories right there just by being able to make race turns.
Oh, unfortunately, like head side off the finish line, going for a double rollover, not losing his key though, able to finish his run and will still get a score, but his control score is definitely gonna be hurting after this one.
Yeah, like you say, although control is only one of the 5 categories, the categories being line choice, air and style, control, technique, and fluidity. Control, obviously only one of those 5, but it can absolutely ruin your score. If you get a bad score in control, then your score can drop right down to 10 out of 100.
And one guy who had a great run today is Nico Draxel, local hero from Fieberbrunn. Hello, Nicky. How was it for you today on the multi-loader phase?
It was difficult because snow conditions were not great, and it was a little bit hard under there.
Did you have to change the way you rode today because conditions were maybe a little different than you thought when you were planning your run yesterday?
Yes, I planned, and on the first jump I lost my pole, and then I ride with 1 pole, so I take the August more so I could land it.
Yeah, we saw that. It looked like you were holding on to the bushes for a second, so did you have to let go for a pole so you could on to that before the drop?
Yes, because it is more difficult to land it with 1 pole, so you need to keep balance.
Okay, thanks Nico for passing by. Yeah, let's see what's the score's good for you. Thanks, and enjoy the rest of the day. Bye, Nico.
Congratulations, Nico. Not only asked to do a good run in front of the home crowd, but also switch to a different language, do an international interview. What a future rock star.
Definitely. And which is the next rock star in the phase? We can't really see the riders in the start gate, so we kind of have to guess.
Yeah, I think it's Thibaut. I think we'll find it's Thibaut Montero. Montero out of Switzerland. Probably not how you say his name at all, but I haven't seen anyone else's name right either. This was only fair that I basically make them up.
Thibaut Montero. Ladies and gentlemen, if I sum up the competitions he's done in the last 2 years, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15 competitions. So this is a man with a wealth of experience. He should be able to adapt well to today's challenging conditions.
Thibaut Montero has done more competitions than either Flo or I had combined at his age. So we're going to hope that that's going to serve him well today, competing in challenging conditions, whether it's in his run itself or his decision-making about what and what not to do. Thibaut heading out to the Lukas left, the skier's right. Just trying to get to that takeoff with a 360, a nice one too. Getting a bit bucked on the landing, as pretty much every other person has. Not letting it slow him down as he blazes his way, ollieing and popping with style over the frozen traverse tracks and the roller balls, the ice balls of doom, the death balls. Not letting them stop him, not letting them grab his skis. Just blazing his way over to the Lukas right part of the venue, where some of the funnest features are, including the stunt ditch. And I'm surprised we haven't seen more action from the Jess Hotter air, actually. The one on the bottom, Lukas right of the stunt ditch. Airing towards stunt ditch now. A side hit off one of the airs that Leo Slemet hit in the World Tour Comp the other day. Getting into the channel, the runnel, and then airing the Jess Hotter air, but not working out for him at all. Losing all his gear there. Full on yard sail, but giving us a wave to let us know that he's okay. Having a bit of a Abel Moga moment there. Can walk away without skis or poles. But loving this 360 at the top from Thibaut. And then the middle air popping out of the stunt ditch. And then maybe this is why we haven't seen so much action off the Jess Hotter air, because as soon as he lands, he just gets bucked by that non-thawed spring snow. It looks like he fell onto his ski as well, which can be really, really uncomfortable. I'm glad to see that he gave us a wave after that to let us know he was okay.
Following the spirit of... Definitely following the spirit of Spanish madman, as they call him, Abel Moga, who did a 25-meter drop between the field World Tour here on Monday. And with similar consequences.
Same result. So now, next rider, Vale Gangaskar. Probably also another son of Vale Gangaskar. I'm just assuming here. Maybe it's a really common name in Norway, and neither of these guys are related to Pelle or each other. But we've got one in the under 18, one in the under 16, with the same name as the Norwegian freeride legend. So I think there's a good chance that they are the sons of the man.
Neil Williman doing the math here, and also a very similar approach. Same air, same first, not the second one.
Really well done, though. And I think that it's good that he didn't try and shut the speed down to make it to that side entry of the double Big Mac.
Yeah, and where is that? This last year, it's so hard to find. I know it from doing competitions here myself. The venue rolls and rolls and goes from a bit of lighter to super steep. It's very hard to find the right entry there.
And in this case, has frozen traverse tracks littered everywhere like landmines. Nice, I like that one. Really cool way to find a good feature at the bottom. Smart skiing because it's steep in the landing, but then it doesn't stay steep for so long, so your speed doesn't increase as you come out to the bottom there. I really like this run, actually. Smart, solid, displays his good skiing, shows that he can deal with the tough snow, and just good decision-making from an under 16.
Yeah, I'm totally with you, yeah. Perfectly adapting his riding and his risk level to today's conditions and the features that the venue is
That's
supporting.
exactly what judges want to see. Now Elias Grandner out of Austria, back to the under 18s, as I'm sure you guys will figure out since we're changing from under 18 to under 16 every other rider. But Andreas looking solid so far. Coming over to the Lukas right side of the venue quickly. And although I'm not trying to criticize Andreas at all here, other riders have got to that same zone with getting a hit or even two hits in on the way to the same spot. So maybe he's going to do something mind-blowing down here that'll change the whole run and the judges' perception of it. But that's the tricky part. As soon as you ski past features that other people have hit, it's not beneficial for your score. So if you're sitting at home learning about freeride, doing competitions yourself, then make sure you make the most of the venue. Get all the little hits and show that you're having fun and enjoying it.
Exactly. It's not about judges trying to be bad to you or judge you down. It's like they love to give you those perfect score of 100, but in order to reach that, you just have to hit all the potential features which are on the way.
Making the most of this part of the venue, though, Andreas. Really cool style. I like the feet together style. I don't know if it's considered good technique or not, but I think it looks dope. And buttering off everything, tail pressing and sliding, finding this nice big feature now, and bouncing down through that with park style. I love to see it. Looking so solid, never waving his hands around and not putting an arm out of place. Yeah, really cool run in the end from Andreas. I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah, very fluid. As you said, probably lacks a few of the features at the top, which other riders did use to boost their score, but that bottom part was really nice.
Not sure I've been calling him Andreas. I think his name was Elias. Apologies for that.
It was definitely Elias. I don't see a lot of scores on his past record here, so hard to compare it with past years. As we're moving into now Switzerland, a whole lot of Swiss guys made their way to Fieberbrunn for this event today.
Like this guy, Alec Vanya. Try and say his name right. Apologies again to our previous competitor. Back in the under 16 category. Again, unfortunately, being treated to some flat light at the top of the venue. Although I think that might just be shade from the rocks above him. Like you said, Flo, it doesn't matter though. The top of the venue where you're traversing to get your features is being specifically defined as the judges is not a lack of fluidity. You will not lose fluidity points if you come out of the gate and make your way over to the looker's right to go and get to the part of the venue you want to. And since so many of the features are on the looker's right of the venue, I think that's going to be a wise choice.
Totally right. I mean, the speed is still an issue though. Like if it takes you 5 minutes to get over there, then this will definitely affect your score not in a positive way, whereas someone who will be race over there will also raise the attention of the judges.
Yeah, that's true. Since we've had other people making their way really fast over there and managing to pop ollies and have fun with the features, even if they're rollovers, it's got to do what everyone else has been doing or better if you want to stay out of the box.
But then looking at Alex Strandrunner, he did the long traverse and then came down. He did not hit really any significant feature on the way down now. So that's kind of not ideal.
Yeah, you could have got to these features without traversing.
That's what I'm saying. You could have collected some of the smaller features, riding a more fluid, a more fun-looking line on the way here. So not ideal to just go over and straight down. If you traverse, then it's got to be for a reason, and that reason was lacking a little bit in Alex's run.
Try not to be too critical of Alec there, especially skiing so well at the bottom here, pointing it towards the finish line, but that would be feedback that I would give him for line scoping, and you as a coach, Flo, probably would say the same thing, that if you're going to traverse, you have to make it worthwhile, otherwise the judges are going to dock your fluidity points.
Oh, totally. Yeah, sometimes it's hard to keep staying in the role as a commentator versus coach versus judge versus friend versus spectator. So we're mixing it all up here a little bit.
Yeah, and I want to be friends with all these riders, and I want to say something friendly for Alec that I did enjoy watching him skiing. So thank you for turning up today and showing what you can do.
Exactly. Wow, back to back, not a break. We can't even have a sandwich here. Jonathan Trentini, from the Innsbruck area, my hometown, ladies and gentlemen. Breeding ground for a lot of free riders in Austria. And if they're not born, they typically move there sooner or later. We had the Freeride Film-Based Festival in November, just a few months ago. And I was lucky presenter on the stage in the cinema, and there was not less than 14 different freeride movie productions coming out of Innsbruck last year.
Yes, yes.
So a very alive freeride team with a lot of mountains around and a lot of friendly freeriders.
Absolutely. Jonathan now.
And as Jonathan is going towards the halfpipe, we see another person skiing on the right side of the venue. I hope it's a photographer, not someone who wants to double up with Jonathan on his way down, as Jonathan is finding a nice little
no synchronized skiing here today.
Might have a trick.
Yeah, Jonathan.
Three.
Really nice left three.
One. As we hear his friends hollering at the finish line just in front of us. Bottom part is coming over. Are we going to see another? Yep.
Solid there,
oh,
but getting hooked up in
the very
that
spot where This is our heartbreak hotel today.
It is, isn't it? It's the it's the doom section. Ah, nice air there too, though. Jonathan just making the most of the venue. That's exactly what you need to do if you go over there.
Yeah, so if you compare his run to the one of Alec Fournier before, they had a similar top entry, right? But then obviously Jonathan was making more use of it, putting 3 or 4 features in, including the 360, which we're seeing on the replay. But then unfortunately in this hard-packed bumpy section going down and
yeah, well, they've cut just before it happened, but yeah, I think when I said that's exactly what you need to do, I think what I meant was that's exactly the feature combination that you need to put together, but maybe not the exact run, because although it has really cool elements, that control issue will effectively wreck his score. I think he'll know that coming to the finish line. He showed he's an incredibly good skier and that he can make the most of a venue and put down a competitive line, but anytime that any part of your body touches the ground that isn't your skis or poles, then it's going to be pretty bad for your score, unfortunately. Really cool skiing, though. Obviously, a very talented person.
And I'm sure so is Jonas Wolfram, the next Austrian.
Back to the under-16s, and when we're comparing those last 2 lines, I think it's important to point out that it's under-18s and under-16s, and a lot of development goes on in those 2 years, and that's just part of the learning process. It must be good for the under-16s to get to hang out with and watch the under-18s at the same level competition to get some pointers and move on up to the next level.
Yeah, that's totally right. I mean, it would be nice for us to have all the riders of one category behind each other to be able to compare a little better. But as we said before, then the whole event, the competition would take twice as long because always would have to wait for the judges to set their scores before the next rider could move into the start gate. That's
right. And because it's faster, we can have more competitors in the competition, more people coming up from the grassroots and developing the sport.
Sorry to interrupt you. Where is our competitor?
Well, I think they might have had a fall and might be recollecting their stuff. I kind of just assumed that before I went on my side rant. It's also possible that there's something completely else and the filmers are missing the shot, but we've got pretty boss filmers working in the production here today, so I think that's unlikely. And probably more likely that he's fallen in a place the cameras can't see, so we've got a wide angle until he's come back into the shot just here. And now we see him come back into the venue. Making his way down above the large exposed cliffs, which are closed today, actually, just in case you're wondering why none of the very able juniors are hitting these massive cliffs that are below where he is at the moment. Very much closed. You will be disqualified if you venture in there at all. And I think he knows that, and I think he'll see that, because I think that where the staff are, the doctors and ski dudes standing next to that tall double tree you can see just to the right of your screen, I think they have to go look as right of those people, not allowed to go look as left of them. You know, all those cliffs are closed. Is that right, Flo?
That is right. And if you look at the Instagram sides of some of those riders, you go riding with them, you'd be amazed. I mean, they are throwing down double backflips, they're jumping huge cliffs, they're doing 360s, 270s, underflips, etc. But obviously in a competition, you know, the rule number 1 is get everyone safe down the mountain. We want to see a great show, but no one doing crazy stuff. And that's why we close areas which are obviously dangerous. That's why no flips, no back or front flips are allowed for the juniors. And we still have a great show for the comps.
Tom Freeman on course now, out of New Zealand, straight out of Mount Olympus. Shout out to the clubby scene in New Zealand. Looking really solid so far. Already putting in an air. Not at all worried about the frozen traverse tracks or the ice balls that he's just popping over and through now. Had the pleasure of meeting Tom recently when him and Timo came and stayed with the Kiwi house just upstairs from us in Innsbruck on the way to the competition in Kappel. Not sure if that one went his way, so he'll be looking for redemption today.
Yeah, going for the high traverse as well.
Making his way up towards a stunt ditch. I wonder what he's got from us over here.
I think it's nice to be a skier if you go for the traverse. Like as a snowboarder on my backside, I would not be very tempted to traverse 5 kilometers on the hard part. Like your legs will already be sore before you do your first proper turn.
Exactly. Popping off that one. Making nice turns too, showing strong, solid technique.
Oh, a nice combo, those two airs, really nice.
Yeah, air, turn, turn, air, with the Cossack as well, not
and
to be missed there.
Going for that one as well.
Pointing it off that, stomping it in the sweet spot, and just like going Mach 10 out the bottom there. Keeping it on his feet, solid run from the tall Kiwi. Tom Freeman out of Mount Olympus, big ups.
Yeah, there was a very nice and fluid bottom part of his run. All those 3 airs connected with a couple of turns, no control issues whatsoever, and warp speeding at the bottom. Very well done by Tom Freeman.
Yeah.
The Kiwis, huh?
Yeah. Maybe there is some truth in the used to skiing and sending on tough snow.
As we go back to the under 16 category, Johann Bachofner from Switzerland. Grüezi nach Switzerland. Hallo in die Schweiz. Zur Familie from Johann, to Johann's family and friends who are watching now, for sure, coming him down.
Back into Traverse Land. The Traverse Zone of Ice Bottles of Doom. And moving away from the Big Mac. Standing with healthier options today.
Definitely healthy options.
So Johann Bachofner, that does mean like oven baker, right?
Probably. Bachofner. That's a tough one. That's a 3 in the spot where we haven't seen anyone really jump it. Very good line scoping by Johann up there.
Yeah, looking really solid. He's got a bunch of podiums under his belt as well.
And then other 3. Wow, that was big.
Really solid from the under 16. Backing up all the podiums that I've just looked up in his results sheet. Very similar run to what we just saw from Tom in the under 18s, but with 2 3s and now pointing it out the bottom. Wow, that is going to be up there, Flo.
That would be one of the standard runs of the under 16 of today's competition.
For sure. See that 3 up the top on the replay.
And he knows. I like it when they claim it like, just a little bit, just fingers up. Like
yeah. They know they had a good run.
A bit of a stuff to claim.
Cool. Well done, Johann.
Congratulations.
To add to his second at the French Freeride Series, his second at the Non-DAF Freeride Junior 3-star, his first at the No Limits Freeride Brusson. Could be looking at another podium today.
Yeah, definitely did all he can for that as we're looking back up to the start.
Jordan Ray out of Großbritannien, Great Britain.
I remember in couple just a few weeks ago, we had a very strong field of British snowboarders. I think it was a border cross team that went for a freeride competition, and I hope the skiers are following the path, because we haven't seen a lot of like high-level Brit skiers in the freeride scene for a while.
Not since I competed for England on the freeride world tour.
That is true. Neil Williman, multinational, comes from New Zealand, half a Brit, lives in Innsbruck, has a Swedish girlfriend.
That I met in France.
Exactly.
Jordan Ray, maybe a more legit Brit or Englishman, maybe Scotsman, maybe Welshman. Who knows when you're from Britain?
That's true. Let's see what we have on about him.
I'm excited to see his run, though. Coming down very, very fast skiers right. Coming over to the part of the venue that the Freeride World Tour skiers used when they got to this section. And taking that one off the side. Very cool. I enjoyed that. The tree air to cut back. I think he might have wanted to get that one over the bushes, but he managed to find this into a 3, but catching, landing. More of a 270 and not quite getting it round. Looking disappointed with that. It was looking so good until that point. Creative run on the far lookers right of the venue and still just jumping and buttering around, having a good time. What an unfortunate end to a very cool run.
Yeah, let's look at the replay. Yeah, he seemed to have a lot of fun on this run down. I really like it when people are just playing with the skis in the snow.
Almost like it nose butter. I'm not sure if that was intentional, but
how is it so?
Jordan Ray out of England or somewhere in Britain. Very cool run, and hope to see more of him in the future.
Andreas Bakke from Norway is our next competitor. We're back at the under 16. This is a winner from the 2020 under 16 competition here.
Last year's winner.
Yep. Well, at least 2 years ago when the last comp was here. So, best
the reigning champion.
Exactly.
See if he can repeat it here today.
Reigning. Could you also say ruling champion?
Ruling champion? I mean, you could. It's not what you'd usually say, but I said a lot of things that people wouldn't usually say.
At least as long as you have to say something about everything.
Like, that was cool. Like, I really enjoyed him ollieing over that massive bush band and turning it into a cliff drop. Creativity, the unofficial gray area 6th category.
And found a steep landing with with a nice run out.
Exactly. I like the guys that, like that. Also creative. I love it when they like look for the transition and then find a way to land there. It doesn't necessarily have an easy takeoff, but he created one. And that bottom section was cool too. Looking at him just jibbing around, tail pressing and buttering and popping little ollies everywhere he can. I love it when you can tell they're having a good time. Getting a big hug out the bottom as well. Congratulations to the Norwegian crew. Everyone is amped down there.
Yeah, you can kind of, after watching Freeride comps for so many years, you can really tell like the different mindsets are of those riders. Like some are really coming down having fun, some are more super focused, so they're having a really difficult, a big thing planned. You know, that body language speaks a lot.
Yeah, I think that it's almost this kind of like race feeling versus like this like freestyle feeling that people a lot of the time, like the more focused ones have like the stiffer skis that are mounted further back and they'll do big drops with maybe a backflip and ski really fast and kind of like roar when they celebrate. And you've got like the more freestyle-y guys, just Arno Vernier pushing out of the start gate for Switzerland and under 18s. The more freestyle guys, like softer skis, mounted a bit more further forward, doing more freestyle tricks and having more fun, but maybe not skiing as fast or sending it as big. And when they get to the bottom, it seems more like woohoo than like yeah. Just my take.
No, you're totally right. We could see it very well at this year's couple of 3-star event. We had the grown-ups first and juniors right after it from the same start. And the grown-ups were kind of, as you said, more racing out of the start, get really focused. And the juniors were so much more playful. Just this first 10 seconds, the first hits, it was a really big difference in mindset visible there.
Interesting. I like both styles. Don't get me wrong. I really, really enjoy every single type of freerider that we have out here, which is why it's such a pleasure to commentate a competition like this, because we've got 4 different categories and they're all making their own unique take on things. There's no right way to do it. It's any type of style can win, and that's one of my favorite things about the sport.
Exactly. We have only 2 gates, the start gate and the one the finish line. As we see, was it left or a left and 3 on the top roller by Nico?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, Arno. We had Nico Vernier earlier. This is Arno. This good chance these guys are brothers.
Yeah, and it's like the snow is just not getting softer. It's meant to be by this time of the day, but oof. Yeah, you can see a bit of it moving now, but it still doesn't look easy. I feel like the stuff that is softening is kind of grabby and wow, sending it off this one. Hold it together,
nice,
buddy.
Yeah, Arno.
You're a little bit backseat, but it doesn't matter. Like you said, I'll give it to you today. The landings have all had a little bit more generosity added to them, because if anyone wants to send anything, it's going to be hard to land perfectly. And Arno putting it all together with a very cool run, styling it out the bottom with a wind lip here that no one else has found.
I was wondering why he was going all the way to Lukas right. He wanted to go to that wind lip. There was still a planned part of his run.
Yeah, I think that people often like miss the bottom of a venue. They look at the last feature and think, oh, yeah, I'll be at the finish line straight away after that. But there's often little fun poppers like that Arno's found. And just the same as at the start, if you do that at the end, the judge is like, oh, do we put him above or below that other person with a similar run? Oh, cool, creative air on the bottom. That bumps his score up another few points and like clinches the difference between what can be a few places.
Yeah, exactly. Konsti Sinnesberger from Switzerland. He is from Switzerland, but actually half a Fieberbrunn local. His parents do own a place here. He spends a lot of his season there. And he joined the coaching session yesterday. And a very, very planned person. Like, he was really meticulously talking to me about what he had planned, which part of the face, and what size he should use for his jump. Very interesting for me to see what's going to be for him. And the top part so far went exactly to plan.
Okay, nice one. Yeah, it must be interesting when you sometimes coach and sometimes commentate and kind of know what some riders were planning and seeing if they adjust those plans based on the snow conditions or the riders that have gone before them. So get a bit more insight into the heads of these young athletes.
Exactly. And some riders, they like their input, and some riders are so like strong already that they say, hey, I'm going to do what I want to do anyway. What I do know is that he is planning to go to the test hot air, but coming from the left side of the pipe, he has to go into the half pipe and back out of it before that. So
great drone angle on how difficult this entry is.
Oh no, and just loses a ski entering the pipe at the same spot where Austria's Simon.
That has been a heartbreak hotel for a few athletes today. Not treating him well. Really unfortunate for Konstantine. Berger out of Fieberbrunn, Switzerland. Yes, like we said, it's too hard on the left wall, too soft on the right wall. Not a lot of time to transition in between. So no chance to get to the Jess Hodder Cliff today unless he puts his ski back on and goes and sends it anyway, which is kind of not meant to, you know, like...
We have said it before, which can be dangerous once that focus which you have in the start and throughout your run is gone by having a big mistake, especially by losing a ski. It is typically better to take it easy and cruise down and call it a day.
For sure, and it's also kind of a bit of a dick move because if you ruin a landing, like if you crash off the next thing especially, even if you don't crash, but if you do crash and put a big bomb hole in a feature that someone else wants to hit and you didn't have to hit it because you've already got a no score then.
But you really have to make a difference if for the rider if you lose a ski or not. If you have lost a ski in a crash, obviously you have a no score, then you must, and that is in the rules, write down. You might even get a punishment or face an event ban if you don't. But if you do not lose your skis, you just have a control issue, maybe a big old rollover. You of course can continue to run and then still work on your score.
Yeah, for sure, because then you can work your way up and like be the first other people that have had big control issues. So. No,
exactly.
That's totally okay.
We have seen events with people on the podium with big crashes. Of just most people crash in difficult conditions, so that's fair enough. But
not once you lost your ski though. That's why I've moved on to someone else while we wait for Consti to retrieve a ski. We're now watching Axel Retari out of Norway lining up this top hit with a nice 3. Didn't quite see the landing. Maybe asked the drone operator to not view a backslap if that was going to happen. But anyway, nice 3 off the top from an under 16, from an under 18 Alex out of Norway. Retari, not a very Norwegian name, but I feel like we've just had names all over the place today, and me saying them wrong all over the place.
Well, doing very well so far. Has a big 3 in his pocket and a mid-sized jump, and still plenty of features ahead of him.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of the Norwegians hit that mid-size there that he just took as a side hit. I think that maybe they scoped together like the Swedish crew on the World Tour.
Yeah, for sure. And it is so much fun to scope together with your friends. Approaching his last air.
Taking that to the side, maybe with view to get off another hit down to the bottom on the right here, which he does with style and ease, combining to make stees.
Axel Retari, I like this run, you know, the big 3 and then 1, 2, 3 features in a row on the bottom. Not a big traverse, just connecting them very nicely. I think it was a well-planned.
Yeah, smart line choice.
Yeah.
And I think that the judges will like the fact that he demonstrated he can do lots of different things. He's got freestyle, he's got control, he's got technique, he's got fluidity, literally hitting all the judging criteria, because like if you want to satisfy all of those different ways to get points for the judges, you have to pick a line that shows your ability to demonstrate that you can do all of those things that combine to create freeride.
Exactly, and he showed that even without doing the big traverse, you can add a lot of features to a run. And I think so far traversing over and coming straight down fall line next to the half pipe has only paid off so far for those riders who used those humps for 360s.
Absolutely. 100% agree. We're now watching this Laurin Falsch.
We're back at the under 16s with Laurin Falsch from Austria.
Wow, that air just looks tough, huh? Everyone just sending it, landing on the flat hard pack, using those junior knees that have not yet been weathered down by years of hard landings that they think are going to last forever. Wow, what a salty old freerider I am to me, watching them jealously of their knees. But big ups for landing difficult airs like that. Keep doing it as long as you can, I guess. Cool double there.
That was a very nice way to jump that air.
Yeah, creative take on the side of the Big Mac. Making 3 features out of where other guys have only done 1 and had a spectacular crash and still got half the venue to go.
Laurin coming here with 2 podiums in his pockets, winning the Youngster Challenge in Oberstdorf today in Germany, and the 3rd place at the Open Faces 2-star in Alpbachtal is also in his pocket already.
You can see that snow starting to soften a little bit now. Not necessarily a lot, but the top of the surface being movable. And Laurin, really cool top half, really cool top half, but I feel like he kind of lacked a feature or 2 at the bottom there.
I think so too, yeah. It was almost a surprise. So the big air at the top and then the double, and then he built expectation that he was going to be up for another feature 2 at the bottom, which he didn't show, which is kind of what you don't want to do towards the judges, right? Like having a run fade out. It's good to start with a bit of a bang to wake him up, but it's equally important to finish off with a bang to like claim that we can do what you can do.
I mean, if you're not going to hit anything at the bottom, it's good to ski really fast and just pop off little things with style. It's so easy to sit in the booth here and say it, isn't it? You know, like the snow is bad, the light got worse halfway through his run, it's already kind of good features, and you know, we say, I just have to do more. And easy to sit down here and say it. Let's see if Gabriel can manage that. Gabriel Andresen out of Norway, back in the under 18s.
There must have been a huge bus or a full plane of Norwegians arriving at Fieberbrunn yesterday, with so many Norwegian riders here. Wow, supersizing that Winlip roll at the very below the big cliffs.
Well, one good thing about hard snow is that it can give you speed in the take-ins, and the run-ins, sorry, and the take-offs. And Gabriel making the most of that. Oh, Garbel, sorry. Just making up names for people all over the show today. Taking that Bush Ollier as well, finding that nice transition. Dealing with the flat light that has moved back into the face really well.
Gabel, I wonder if they've told him already what his name does mean in German since he arrived here.
It means fork, right?
It is.
Yeah, I think it's Gaffel in Norwegian.
Norwegian. Oh,
yeah, he probably understands. It's not that far away.
Yeah.
Or maybe he just, you know, gave himself a nickname. Well, he's already done. That was a really fast run.
Yeah.
Just flying down, kind of waving his arms in a way that would imply that he missed a feature.
Or saying, well, that's all we can do in this conditions to me, on this venue.
Yeah, I mean, some kind of slight disappointment, because obviously a really good skier and didn't really make the most of the bottom of the venue, but whether that was a result of the flat light or the snow or not finding his feature or all of the above, not sure.
The light is definitely not helping to the performance of the riders. I mean, we are under blue sky. It's blue sky everywhere, but that cloud that just sits above the Wildsloder hut covers the sun that Neil Williman is trying to blow it away. Yeah, maybe we should get some huge turbines up there. Just
give that cloud a blowjob.
It's really close down. I mean, it's not a high cloud. It's a typical like springtime cloud. Good for paragliding.
Moisture coming out of the snowpack and
exactly
not softening and being
moisture coming out of the snowpack, and Balder Vage coming out the start gate. As we're back at the under 6 teams approaching them.
Also out of Norway.
Going for the left and 3.
Nice 3, but getting a bit set. Going for a 360 after landing as well. Hadn't had enough rotation in the air. Thought he'd just chuck in another one. Balder Vage.
That's the good thing about the snowpack being hard. If you're getting turned around, you just ride switch without a problem.
Yeah, I think that was just a body butter 3. Not necessarily a control issue. Aaron threw that one as well.
I'll let you talk about that to the judges, but he is in a good way. I mean, it was a good 3, and the mid-air was nice as well. And he definitely has a plan where he's going.
Yeah, looking solid from the under 16 competitor. Downhill leg, a little bit straight from a technique point of view.
New air.
But air massive from a size point of view. Amplitude directly to bushes, taking a biological landing. Losing a ski, unfortunately, but just walking it out.
Balder Vage. Yeah, big 360, not using a Berger and going all vegan at the bottom part.
Going all vegan.
Here it is. There's been a lot of discussions if this is possible. Yes, it's possible to jump over the bushes, but then you have to look for a clean landing.
Tree tapping happy.
Bala did not manage to do.
Before it even stopped, letting us know he's okay. Look how hard he punts through that snow. Hard on top, soft underneath. It's kind of the opposite of what you want. Ah, man.
Big
disappointed.
Props, though, for this bottom air.
Yeah, for sure.
So many riders have been thinking about if it was possible, and he shows it is possible.
Is it? He showed it's possible to take off.
Yeah, a tiny bit different angle than take off. You'd be totally fine.
Yeah.
Well, we can go and try it afterwards. I knew you're pretty well known for being up at the Wildsloder venue after competitions and going.
Yeah, I did go back for some redemption on the competition last year after I crashed here competing a few years ago and never got to get to the George Rodney Cliff. Went back after the FWT competition last year and went and hit the George Rodney Cliff, which right now looks almost impossible. Well, I mean, like, if you skied across tussock and branches to get off the takeoff and then made it over the rocks to the pretty flat looking, I mean, like, physically possible. In the same way that this air that Balder Vage just tried to hit, I'd say it's physically possible. Like, improbable, but possible.
But Neil would have been talking about one of the big classics in Freeride history, him sitting in the commentator booth here last year for 4 hours, and then as everyone starts to celebrate, he goes up and then just has about 200 or 300 people cheering for him jumping the biggest cliff of the day outside of competition. Yeah, he is not only a great commentator, he's also an insane skier, Neil Bullyman.
Thank you, Flo. It's very, very complimentary to say. At the time, I felt like I was being some kind of like massive attention seeker. I was doing it much more for myself to show that I could do it to myself.
You was just packing up your entertainment capabilities, you know, by like real stuff. So that was all good.
I appreciate it very much. And I'm glad that Balder took on that air as well to prove to himself that it is doable and he can do it, because that's a big part of freeride and freeride competitions, is pushing your limits and increasing your confidence and belief in yourself. Hasn't worked out today, but I'm sure it will work out in the future.
It's that magic line, you know, go a little bit too hard, you'll crash, go a little bit too soft, you'll be angry at yourself and not finish at in the ranking at a place where you want to be. And no one can tell you, you know. In a racing comp, you just go as fast as you can. But on a freeride comp, you want to be smart, you want to push it, you want to be aggressive, but you don't want to be too crazy. It's all that combination.
Yeah, that's right. Robin Höflier now on course with a really cool top section, doing an air out of the top rocky, ridgy part that I don't think anyone else has done so far today, and then finding a wind lip to 360 off before he traverses over into the zone that other people have got to the zone without even having done anything yet, and he's already done a trick and a nice creative cliff.
Wow, Höflier reminds me of a very famous ski racer when I was a kid who was a world champion, I think Olympic champion, Helmut Höflier. It's probably like 35 years ago. I wonder if he's from the same family.
Well, he's certainly skiing like a racer as well as a freestyle.
Yeah. No
skier.
compromises. Bang.
Yeah, really, really fast run. One of the fastest runs we've seen so far today, I think. More of a bang in the top section than the bottom section, but maybe he said, hey, everyone's just having a rough time in the bottom section and dealing badly with the poor snow and not having a good time. So I'm going to have all my fun in the top section, get down the bottom section quickly with a couple of small airs and just say, yo, judges, I'm smart.
Yeah, totally. But I still think if, like, take this run and just add one more nice feature at the bottom, another 10 points, and you'd be right up to the very, very top.
I do agree, 100%. Also, I think that what you just said about the decision of how hard to go is a tough one. And, you know, maybe he went a little bit too easy today, and he'll be beating himself up about it enough without us saying anything. Theo Schuler, next up, out of Switzerland, under 16 ski guys.
Also, what we did hear from some of the riders just before, they have the live stream running, so they have the pictures and hear us talking right behind the start gate, and they can look at their fellow competitors in their category and then decide, all right, I got to go bigger or not as crazy today if I want to be have a top scoring run. That is very new. Like we didn't have to. We were competing. We could look down. Sometimes see the rider. Sometimes not. It was a rolling phase. But basically, we're also competing against yourself.
Yep. So I also want to say, like, if you're a rider watching this live stream at the top, just to get some intel on the riders before you, stop cheating, man.
I know Max Hitzig won the first run here on the Wildsloader Field World Tour on Monday, and he was the second to last rider to drop down from the Wildsloader, and he was still in the lead. No, the third to last rider. So he said, well, there's only two guys who could be better than me, so I still have to go big. And he went like 110% one more time.
Nice. Big left three from Theo. And then point heat down through the steeper part of the venue. It's become a bit of a classic, that left three up the top there. And I really liked the way he did it. He showed control and competence and composure in the air. I'm not trying to be critical here. I think that was a really cool run from a guy who's obviously a very talented skier, especially in the under-16s field. But we've seen this a few times now that, like, do something cool up the top like this, really nice transfer air, deals with the frozen traverse tracks really well. And then this 360, really good, goes a bit bigger than everyone else, actually, kind of clear the other bomb holes. But then didn't hit any other features, and that could have been the icing on the cake that would have been the difference between a top 5, top 10, and a podium.
It'd be interesting to run some statistics if there's a difference in those runs with riders with coaches or without. Because if a guy like Theo has a coach, I would say, hey, this is a perfect run, but please add just one feater at the bottom.
Doesn't have to be much.
No, nothing thick, just a nice floaty air. So I wonder if it just doesn't have a coach, it like encourages him to do so, or if they just agree that if the 3 goes all well, then job done and go down.
Yeah, or if it's like you think it's easy to find that rolly floaty feature from the bottom, and then like as you come down, you're like, oh, these takeoffs all look the same, and some of them are big, so I'm just going to make sure I don't crash.
Well, we'll find out later as we are talking to Theo and ask him, and tell you next time. As Rafi Fritz from Innsbruck is in the gate. He had a great result this year already. Where was it? I have some. Yeah, second place in couple on the under 18. I think he was the second to last start gate and had a crazy running couple with a huge air at the bottom, a huge 3. Let's see what he's planning for this year.
So Max Hitzig that pretty much. Nice big 3 off the top there.
Ooh.
Bit of a back slap. And then, like you said, some switch skiing to ride it out with style.
Looked all under control until that landing, but then unfortunately...
Well, it's pretty flat and hard, huh?
Yeah.
Got to land absolutely bolts, as Derek Foos would say.
Well, he did lose his key, lost some control points, but he's still on the way. The way I know him, he's not going to hesitate to show something big as he's approaching our fast food restaurant.
Z Double Big Mac. Taking the smart side option, though. Oh! With maybe a little bit too much speed. Overshooting the transition and straight to front punch.
Front punch, double tomahawk with skis on. That's a pretty rare occurrence for skiers.
What din do you have?
I'm kind of used to that on my snowboard to do multiple cartwheels and then keep on skiing. But skiers typically...
Yeah, if you straight front punch without any angle rotation, I think it's not that uncommon for your skis to stay on. But still, oof, rolling the high din settings there, wow. Rafael Fritz.
So he definitely went for it. Look, going pretty far on the 3.
Yeah, went past other people's bomb holes.
Flap, but keeps it and then goes for the Berger on the... Actually, he did it where other people managed to stick it, but maybe
I think from a little bit bigger, though, a little bit further look is right, and to a little bit flatter transition. It's so hard to scope an air like that from such a distance and with such a specific takeoff angle and landing transition that's so short.
So being the super smart coaches we are, we would say, hey, like 10% less speed on this one might have saved him a landing on the 3 and potentially one on the Berger.
Yeah, I mean, it's so easy to say in retrospect, but like, I think that the best way to hit that is being like doubling down that pad.
Well, we have a couple of riders here landed the way Vale just...
For sure, but I think it's more difficult.
Rafi just did, right?
Yeah. Next up, we've got Didrik Opsan out of Norway, part of the strong Norwegian contingent here today. I don't think we have any Swedes, but not going quite the way for Didrik. That top air just taking him out and really showing how difficult it is up there. Seen a few other riders land that, but look a little bit backseat and out of control, and Didrik coming off the wrong side of that control side.
Any landing right onto those traverse tracks as well, right? So
yeah, your skis are turning and catching in them just after you land. So like he's doing fine, Traverse track takes the ski.
Yeah, he does a speed check like right onto this traverse track and bam, there goes the ski.
Yeah, if you want to make it all the way over to the Lukas right side of the venue, like I assume he was planning to do, then you're basically like putting your skis sideways into a frozen ditch at speed. You know, it's not easy. Feel for Didrik there. Opsan.
Didrik Opsan from Norway.
Ja, men det är jättesynd och jag tycker inte om att kolla på folk när de kraschar. Förlåt Didrik, men komma tillbaka nästa gång och visa vad du kan.
Not that I do understand anything, but unfortunately it looks like I'll have to bring up my Spanish a little later. Because we do have a Spanish rider as well. Where Norwegian is definitely your expertise.
Deciding to go for a walk with the skis there. Maybe he has broken a binding, or maybe he's just off skiing after that. Decides he's done with the sport and he is going to walk down.
And go for a curling afternoon.
Yeah, maybe snowboarding. Can't get a no score in that unless you get really stuck and take your board off.
Yeah, that's the rules. Obviously, you do have to take your board off. Yeah, that's a no score. It hasn't happened to me in my career, but
yeah.
I've seen it before.
Or I guess like your foot might come out of your boot or something.
Yeah, I've seen people like getting cliffed out and then having to walk back up. That does happen.
Which is better than just taking the cliff, you know. Not saying don't do it, just try not to get into the situation where you have to.
Well, yeah, that was like so many times in my career I have been asked, like, how do you know where you're going to land if you jump down over those cliffs? It seems like people who are watching freeride competitions for the first time, so big videos, they don't really realize that it's meticulously planned stuff from top to bottom. Like a lot of people still think we're just like madmen just hoping for snow at the bottom.
Yeah. Well, I guess occasionally it goes wrong, and those times that do go wrong get so much attention that people assume that everyone's just making it up as they go along. But yeah, obviously there's like about 10 to 100 times more preparation time that goes into the run than the amount of time spent doing the run.
Oh, totally. And it is one of the the main rules in freeriding, like, you know, you never go out without your gear, without your transceiver, your backpack with shovel and probe. One is also to never jump over or down anything where you don't know where you're going to land.
100%.
That's your life insurance, and you better make sure, it's always in place.
Ride with your friends. When you're just freeriding around, not in a competition, you can get them to scope a landing for you. Yeah, there's lots of ways to be safer, and that's what we encourage through these junior competitions. So come to a camp, read up about it, join the family, and enjoy freeriding safely and responsibly.
Totally right. Well, another one down from Team Norway. Are we already with our next rider?
Yes, Jacob Mulder. Nice side hit there. I think that's a really cool drone angle of that hit. We've seen a lot of people do about how it is not easy. It's blind coming in. You can't see where you're going to land. You have to rely on the fact you've scoped it well, and then you're not going to land straight into the traverse tracks without going too small and not clearing the gap. So there's lots of factors to think about. There's a lot that goes into scoping these lines for these juniors and for the seniors.
Yeah, totally. I mean, you come to the venue, you look at it with your binoculars, you try different angles, you go to the judges' view, maybe go to the finish line, try to get a view from the left and the right, because you need to get a feeling for the steepness, for the size of the cliffs, and then eventually you have to turn this picture around in your head, close your eyes, and imagine, okay, I'm in the start gate now. What does it all look like from the top? Because from the bottom, like today, you see all those black bushes and rocks and whoa!
Wow, nice 3 there. I was almost not expecting that. Manages to get it around off not the friendliest looking takeoff, and then race turning to air that ollie.
And that's what I was just going to get to. And then you look down the venue, and then you have to find out, okay, where are actually all those takeoffs to this air that seem too obvious from the bottom.
Yeah, it always seems so obvious from the bottom, and when you're watching from the bottom, but I can tell you where he is right now is completely blind, and now he's trying to line up his next takeoff to get over to the crosshill hit. Is he going to make it? Yeah, he does. It's a slightly smaller version. Really controlled, smooth, solid, and smart. Great skiing there from Jakob Müller. Stoked to see a good, smart run like that, and he seems pretty happy as well. Coming towards the finish line with his arms wide open.
He's happy. You know, look at that Freeride family. It's so cool. The kids come to the finish line, you know. It's big hugs, it's cheering. Woo!
Congratulations, Jakob.
Definitely not a bad thing to have a high bid this year, this competition.
Absolutely. Mika Rolshoven.
Wow.
Rolshofen.
Big props to Mika, all the way from Canada.
Our only North American competitor today?
No, we have Mika and Timo, I think, a little later. Mika now in the under 16, and his, I'm pretty sure, brother in the under 18.
Solid too. Flying through there. The popular air without the traverse trap.
Yeah, it is.
Traverse trap is what I'm going to call it.
There is quite an international crew this year. There's a couple of Kiwi families traveling with their kids. There's obviously Canadians, a few Brits, and
Aussies, Bulgarians.
Yeah, really.
All of Norway.
Yeah, all of Norway.
None of Sweden. It's funny. On the World Tour, it's all Swedish, and on the Juniors, it's all Norwegian.
You know, it's typically Swedish. You know, they stay among their friends and don't bother, and then when they're good enough, they go straight for the World Tour.
Well, that's actually what Turdal did. Christopher Turdal didn't compete. I will be on the World Tour now.
Yeah, and he got a wild card for Andorra, and they won his straight event, his first event straight away.
Nice grab off that top hit.
Yep.
Skiing fast straight into it. It's getting better.
Compare the skiing right now to the skiing 2 hours ago when the first guys were there. It's very different.
Splaffy. A spread eagle Daffy. Showing he's having fun as well as skiing really nice turns here. I mean, it's easier because the snow's better, but still you have to be a good skier to make the most of it.
That's true, but it truly is a lot easier now. You can see the top snow softening up at the top layer, the spring snow in the air.
Mika Rolshoven bring a bit more park style than a lot of the other riders we've seen today. Buttering around, getting those tail presses going, having fun and just enjoying this venue today. Like we said, probably a little bit easier than it was earlier because the snow is probably a little bit softer now, but yes, splaffying it out. Just having a great time, and it's a pleasure to see. Thanks for coming, Mika.
That is one Stoke. Neil Williman right next to me. But now, ladies and gentlemen, 1, 2, 3, 4 Austrians in a row, and they all can ski. Florian Michelini just met his dad on the random bridge climb at St. Anton a few weeks ago.
It's just changed as the graphic came up that it's Paul Anton Falk. I think it was meant to be Florian Michelini in the start gate. That's what our start list says. But we've got Paul Anton sending it at a higher point on that traverse trap air. Well, that's creative. I've seen 20 guys hit that, and now someone does it differently and probably, in my opinion, better.
Still wondering what happened to Flo Michelini. I hope we'll find out.
I think we had another competitor that didn't make it to their start place earlier as well. So, you know, I wouldn't blame them if they're just like, no, the snow is not good. I'm not competing today.
I don't think so.
I'm just joking, man.
But, well, it's got to be some reason.
So hitting that in a completely different angle. Nice when people are creative on airs that are popular and they find a different way to hit it. They already did that at the top here today as well. So Paul Anton Falk with a nice 3 as well.
Wow.
Really nice 3 there. Just floating it to the right point of the transition. Took the right amount of speed. Showed control on the landing. And again, it is slightly easier now that the snow is a bit softer. But like, you can't just be like, the snow is good, I'm going to crush it. You have to be a good skier.
Well, today definitely it's not nice.
Yeah, that was a cool way to hit that bottom air. I think the judge is going to have the work cut out for them now because a lot of these runs have been quite similar.
Yep.
And like, do you give credit to the people that skied in worse snow? Ooh, that's hard.
That is the question of the
that's
day.
Really tough gray area,
that, for example, now Anton, he added that last air that we've been talking about so much that we kind of did not see of some other skiers who did the 3 on this in this area. So definitely a way for him to set himself ahead of others who were in the same area but without the 3.
Yeah, like I was saying, got Andrew Pollard in the judging booth, got Esteban out of Spain. Who else we got in there? Amadeus out of Germany. Got a solid judging panel here today.
Exactly.
Well, we got 2 of them as well. One for ski guys and one for under 16s and ski girls and snowboard. Smart way to do it. Big ups to the organization. Big ups to the whole crew here, the FJT tour. Open Faces, P3 Productions.
Yeah, there's the FWT,
Fieberbrunn.
the Freeride World Tour. There's the FWQ,
FJTQ.
Qualifiers. There's the Freeride Junior Tour, FJT. There's the Freeride Junior World Championships, FD.
There's a lot of letters to remember. But yeah, big ups to Selbach, Fieberbrunn for having us. Red Bull, one of the sponsors. Who else we got in the sponsors today, Flo?
Well, we get the tourism board Kitzbühel Alpen, which is Tank Jakob, Fieberbrunn, Pilasetal. We got Tyrol Advertisement.
Tyrol itself, yeah. Lanya Boots,
itself.
Dynastar,
Totally.
Peak Performance. Making it happen.
Not to forget the Open Faces crew, which is helping a lot with the organization of everything. So I'm getting confused. It says Paul Anton Falk now in the start kit.
So that probably was Florian Michelini.
It kind of did match his riding style. Yeah.
So now Paul Anton Falk. Or maybe they just like gave him 2 runs because they liked his skiing so much.
And I'm pretty sure that it was Florian, and this is Paul Anton now.
Going for a similar line though. Yeah, I really wonder why or what will happen because the judges said that fluidity will not be affected by a long traverse at the start if you want to get to features. But then people have showed that you can get to a lot of those features without traversing. So will they be rewarded?
Well, that top 3, the area where he's right now, where Paul Anton is right now, those top 2 features, they need a lot of traversing. So if you want to, and they're really nice to go for backside or frontside 3s. So in order to get to those features, you have to do that, put the big traverse in. But I mean, we have seen riders putting up an amazing show at the Berger Cliff, at the one right above it. So it is still a face with many options.
Aaron down through here, picking up speed, but able to deal with it quite well. And taking another tree gap.
Yeah.
Side ollie hit there. So that is Paul Anton Falk in the under 16s, making his way down towards the finish line now.
Yeah, and he was our second to last under 16 category rider. We have one more, Paul Margreiter, who's waiting in the start gate to drop in a minute or 2. Going to switch over the finish line. Paul Anton Falk.
Yes, sir. Let's go.
Yeah, he's aching for the podium, you know. He has a 5th, a 6th, and an 8th already this season. Let's see what the score will be for him.
Through here. Under 18 category. Traversing the Death Saharan, partially thawed now ice balls from the old mini slide. making his way over to the Lukas right of the venue. As we've seen a lot of traffic here today, it's going to be tough for the judges to compare.
Yeah, for sure.
Coming down towards the middle of the venue now. Ooh, a little bit loose on that one, but I enjoyed it very much. Even looser on that one, losing a ski and clipping a tree. Not really working out for Tobias, unfortunately. Sorry to see that. I wonder if his ski was like loosened somehow by that first landing. Okay, what happened? We're probably going to have to ask him later. Just retrieving his ski now. That'll be a no score for Tobias, unfortunately. He's got a few results up his sleeve, though. He's got a first in the St. Anton Freeride by Ski Club Aalborg. A few 6th and 7ths at 2 stars, and I think this might be one of his first 3 stars. There being 1, 2, and 3 star competitions for the juniors. Could be a steep learning curve going up from those 1 and 2 stars straight into the 3 stars and coming up against higher level competitors. So he's in the under 18 category, but he is only 16. At least 1 more year left in the juniors.
Does the sorting function work on your sheet?
I don't think so.
No?
Making his way down to the finish line now. Unfortunately, again in the shade, this one cloud will just not PO. Tobias. Now almost the finish line. Here we are in the commentary booth. If you've just joined us, I'm Neil Willerman. This is Flo Orley, former Freeride World Tour competitors, commentating the Freeride Junior Tour 3-star stop here in Fieberbrunn.
As we see our last under 16 category male skier dropping in, Paul Margreiter. Choosing the skier's left version. I was just going to say defying the traverse track.
The traverse trap, just claiming another victim.
Just the same as was Didrik Opsan was before, I think, right? Yeah. Was it in Norwegian? Was a crash right at the area that traverse track, that evil traverse track, just eating up his keys and like, stealing them from his feet.
Give him back. Give him back right now.
Yeah, he is on his way to retrieve them. So he's fine, but yeah, we were kind of sure in the morning already there'll be a tough competition for like control-wise with all these hard packs. No one like you see right here, doing nothing wrong really. It still can lead to like ejection and his keys being stolen.
Yeah, I mean, I think the snow has started to soften, but in like not a consistent way. You can see his nose just dove into a traverse track. Like, how do you even try and avoid that? If you put them too far across the hill, they can like fully dive into the ditch, and if you have them going straight down the hill, and they can still nose dive. It's very, very difficult situation to deal with. You don't want to be too far back, you don't want to be too far forward, and sometimes the snow is going to break through, and sometimes it's going to be too hard. Really impressed with the way these juniors have been dealing with it. Unfortunately, Paul having a bit of a struggle there. Couldn't back up a 6th place in the 2-star freeride by Ski Club Aalborg.
And as we're waiting for Paul to retrieve his keys, I have Konsti Sinnesberger here, a Swiss rider, but being a local as well in Fieberbrunn. You were one of the riders to go into the halfpipe today, but it was very difficult, obviously. Tell us what happened in the halfpipe.
Ja, in der einen Seite war es steinhart, in der anderen sausoft. Du fährst und dann sinkst du direkt ein, auch egal wie breite Ski man hat. Ja, und bin vorne raus.
Da hast du die Ski ausgezogen, oder? Und damit war das vorbei, was du geplant gehabt hast?
Also bin gelandet, bin aufgestanden und dann kam der nasse Schnee gleich vorne raus.
Wenn du jetzt noch einmal hinaufgehen könntest, würdest du eine andere Linie suchen oder würdest du es noch einmal probieren?
Also ich würde es definitiv noch mal probieren, weil ich finde den Run geil. Auch hätte mich jetzt gefreut, um die unteren großen Cliff jetzt auch zu nehmen, aber ja, ging nicht mehr.
Okay, ich wünsche dir, dass es nächstes Mal wieder besser lag. Hau rein, ja, good luck für den nächsten Contest. Danke, Konsti Sinnesberger.
I like that. It's like, well, it was almost impossible because it was so hard and directly so soft. Doesn't matter how wide your skis were, you just almost couldn't do it. And you asked, oh, would you try it again or do something else? No, I'll try it again. I'll definitely. It was awesome run. Really cool line. I liked it. It's, you know, I'd do it again. Like the motivation, the froth of the juniors is high.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, but you gotta love it. That's the vibe you feel all the time when you're riding with them, when you're hanging out with them at the start, at the finish line.
Everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're a junior skier. Everything is awesome when you're living on a dream. Who we got living on a dream? It is Fredrik Berger. Fredrik Berger. Han startar nu. Han är på väg och ska åka skidor. Han är det. Han hoppar lite nu och landar, men han kommer på stenen lite, men det går jättebra. Superbra gjort tills nu för Fredrik. I'm trying to put a Norwegian accent on poor Swedish, so I hope that is forgivable for the Norwegian crew. It is superbra gjort, but I think he'd probably prefer me to speak in a more understandable English as he comes towards the popular Norwegian hit of the bush ollie, showing some nice high hop turns on the sunny ridge there, probably finding some bit of snow before he makes his way over to the right side of the venue towards the steeper section where you can really pick up some speed as you come towards the bottom. Fredrik in the under 18s category.
Yeah, his fifth, he's 17 years of age, and it's already his fifth competition this season. He already competed in Solheim, in Hemsedal, in Luzark, and in Nanda. No podium finish for him yet. But being 17 years old, I mean, you can compete in the juniors under 18 until you're almost 19, so he still has another 2 years before he's among the eldest in his category. Lots of time to gain experience. And
coming towards the finish line now, making quick work of the venue. Not the biggest sends, but clean, fast skiing. How does it work with the age groups? Like under 18, is that like on the 1st of January if you're under 18? Or?
I'll answer that a little later because we have a new category. And me being a snowboarder by heart and soul, I have to take a closer look at Von Hardig from Australia. Yeah, he spends the season in Europe and goes from comp to comp with his dad. Pretty cool. His elder brother is a motorbike racer. And nice dad's dedicating all his time to him to just travel from comp to comp in Europe. And
that is very cool. But his dad's got a pretty cool name too.
Says Neil Williman. Yeah. I think Von is sitting in the second overall in snowboarding in the under 18. So he's been doing well this season. But as we can see, he's still not really leaving a track with his snowboard.
You also called it that like traversing all the way out there, especially on your heel side edge on a snowboard, isn't really ideal, huh?
No, it's still not ideal. But for a good air and has not easy to shut down the speed, manages pretty well.
Yeah, stomping that. Really impressed. I think that's part of the venue that's got the least sun as well, so I'm not sure how much softer it would have been in the morning. Has quite a big looking bag. Is that like an airbag he's riding with?
Yeah, he always rides with an airbag. Which I think is nice, but during the comp, me personally, I probably would go for a smaller bag.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. Big ups for crushing that hard because he's riding like he's no backpack at all, and it's probably a bit of a heavier one.
It is. I mean, he definitely had a few control issues on the way down, but just going as fast as he could in this hard snow on the snowboard. And
not too bad control-wise, maybe a hand down or two, but like no significant butt check, no fast check like we saw some of the other snowboarders earlier.
Exactly, but definitely one very nice air in there, and
yeah, look at that. Just super solid.
Exactly. Well, we have 8 male snowboarders today. So it'll be very interesting to compare those and see who manages and copes the best with those conditions.
Yeah. Big ups Vaughan, all the way from Australia. He competing in Austria. The land of the kangaroos, the land of the vertical.
Yeah, very typically not to put a 3 in this one, but obviously with the landings being this hard, it's
now
different than in other years.
Skiers from Canada popping up out of the top. It's Timo Rolshoven. Like you said, we had his brother earlier, huh?
Exactly. It's definitely the older brother of Mika or Micah. Neil saying that we only have 10 competitors left, and it's just 12:30.
Yeah.
What about that second run idea?
Yeah, I'm in favor. I think that half of the field probably are as well. Maybe even more than half. Skiing's getting better now. It's sitting in the sunny snowcat that we're commentating from. Seems like the slush is just starting to slush up. But, I mean, big ups to the organization for getting it done. And who knows when it's going to get too soft. Like, if they're running in knee-deep goo, it's ankle-breaking stuff.
Wow.
Oh, nice 3 here.
Big left 3 by Timo up there. Second hit. Here's another one.
Nice 3 there. Very controlled. Landing clean, shutting the speed down. Going past some other person in the venue that I hope is staff, not a lost tourist. And making a couple of turns to bounce his way down. These exactly the features we were talking about before, Flo, that like if you ski around those, you're not going to gain points where other people did. And making great use of the venue, transfer air, side hit transfer over the bushes, and just really complete run, putting all the features together in a way that's fun to watch. And I can't say enough good things about that run. I think it's going to do really well.
Well, it's one of those classic lines we've been talking to the juniors today. Bum, bum, bum. In 4 line, and he maximized the output by doing 2 3s and the last straighter. So you can't do much more in this part of the venue, and he did it all flawless and without mistakes. So
not too much of a traverse to get there, or no needless traversing.
Yeah,
and you can see the celebrations at the bottom. They know that it's a good run. He must be stoked.
Yeah. So out of those runs we've seen here, were similar. I think that top pair is also going to play a big role in judging. You know, did you do a 3 at the top, or did you do a smaller feature?
So from Taimo, his name's almost certainly Timo, but the next guy's also called Timo and doesn't have an E after the I, so that's why I was calling the first guy Timo, because this is Timo from New Zealand. Timo Fitzpatrick, on course now, under 18 snowboarder. Also had him gracing us with his presence at the Kiwi House in Kranabeden, where both Flo and I live, at the competition and couple. Getting his way 4 line off that one.
Very hard for us to see the screen with the sun now shining right onto it in our commentator's truck.
The glare is real.
Yeah, it is.
Polarized glasses from Sun God is making it easier for me. No product placement.
Look at Timo's results. 2022 remarkable 3-star comp under 18, first place. 2022 he was 22. He was second in the same event. Mount Olympus, New Zealand, Freeride Junior Tour 2-star under 18, first place.
Mount Olympus.
Bum, bum, bum.
Timo with bib 60 said he was looking forward to riding today because he felt like the snow was going to be nice and soft by this stage, but unfortunately collecting a butt check on that one.
Yeah, he would have wished for a softer landing on that one for sure.
Yeah, I think that part's like a little bit more west facing. It still hasn't really got any sun yet, so probably hasn't softened as much as the part of the venue is on right now. Making his way over to another feature here, but I think he might be a little bit too low to get to the one he wanted to. So having put his board back into the 4 line now, I'm pointing towards.
Like he was going to go for the Lucas right, but then realized he can't.
I feel like his line hasn't really come together there. He was a bit more of a hard charging snowboarder in all of the runs that I've seen him before. So probably not exactly what he's trying to do there today. Not managing to link the features that he was hoping to do. Saying to me this morning that inspecting from such a distance has been a bit of a challenge for him because you inspect from quite a long way away here in Fieberbrunn, get a great view from the top of the gondola, but it's not that close, and then you have to lap right around on the gondola, come at it from the backside. So when you have to hit it from the back and you can't really check the face, then sometimes you end up with something you didn't want to be with.
Well, you can go all the way to the finish line and you're right at the bottom of the venue, but you still do not see the takeoffs, and that's kind of what's crucial for riders. 3 more skiers in the under 18 category in the start gate, and the first of those 3 is Jano Heckel from Austria. 2 more Austrian and 1 Bulgarian. Gonna battle it out all the way in the left hand. That's a nice drone view for once.
Yeah, I wonder if the drone will turn away from the landing again. Airing off a different part of that. Mountain goating it through there. Jano Heckel from Austria.
Very different approach, yeah.
Men's under 18. Coming across the middle part of the venue now. So we can see the Big Mac, the double Big Mac in the middle of the screen. The Bush Ollie.
It's interesting because we've
Side heel transfer.
We've almost seen the most action on the death-defying jumps over the Big Mac, like early morning when it was still like ice. And then now
worst conditions, most sins.
People are not doing that big jump anymore.
So Yano cutting back into the lower left part of the face now. Wondering if they'll find any features in there. Cool drone shot on that one too. As the snow still looks somewhat challenging in part of the venue. So not so many features to speak of compared to some of the other guys in the ski man's under 18 category. I think that the judges will probably favor some of the other runs that have had more features and more stomps. No real serious control issues there for Yano. Also possible that he got a bit lost and didn't find the features he was hoping to hit. But line scoping might be the thing to work on for this fine young gentleman out of Austria. Seems like he would like to be hitting more features on his way down. So, the time to work on your Spanish.
Bienvenido a toda la gente de España que están con nosotros ahora en esta competición de Freeride World Tour Juniors a Fieberbrunn. Bol Sabido Juve. Did he come all the way from Spain, or is he based in Austria?
See, I don't know. But crushing it so fast through that zone. We've seen a lot of people come unstuck. Just no hesitation from the young Spaniard. Paul is sending it quite four-line through those diverse tracks. Maybe that's the way to do it, so you can't get caught up.
Approaching the same area where Von Harwick did his air. Yeah, pretty much the same air.
Whoa! Very controlled, aggressive riding until the snow just grabs his toe edge and decides you're going for a frontside slide there, my friend.
Pretty impressive up to the point and afterwards. I mean, he went for this front flip, but it still looked very much in control.
Yeah.
For that.
Like, it's probably good I'm not a judge because I kind of want to reward this guy for just charging so hard. He's got a bunch of good events. Podiums this year at the Freeride Junior in Village, a win at the Verbier Freeride Week by Dynastar, non-dev Freeride Junior 3-star. Taking a bit of a butt check here, though.
Hard to understand for me, though. Why would he go in this, like, snow-wise, very, very worst part of the face, where some self-releases had gone down yesterday and froze overnight?
Yeah, that didn't really look like it worked out for him. Already had a control issue and maybe just wanted to check out. When he just pushes limits, I've already crashed it out. I'll just go to the worst part of the venue, see if I can ride it.
I like your approach, Neil. You always find something positive about everything, no matter what's happening on this venue.
Well, I'm pretty stoked on all the things that are happening. We're watching a bunch of very talented young athletes learn and crush freeride on a difficult venue. You know, even if it doesn't go the right way, like, I'm just so stoked to see the sport progressing because these guys are the future. These guys and girls are the future of our sport. And to see that it's starting so strongly at grassroots level like this, it's very inspiring.
Exactly. Korsmin Tronvaller in the start gate, 4th place for him in couple at the under 18 at a very high level competition. So he is capable of doing anything here. That is, if he puts down a nice run now, staying on his feet, packed with a lot of features.
Nice. Stomping that one. We haven't seen a lot of clean landings on that cliff.
Going a little smaller than others and therefore be super clean.
Yeah.
I think it was a very smart approach.
Sometimes you just got to take the amount of speed that doesn't make you backslap and ski switch.
Well, with pip number 63, he had 62 riders to look at the live stream. He spent 2.5 hours looking at his phone and just figuring out what line scores best. And then all he has to do is just pick one and ride it.
Well, smart skiing is good for the results. Bold skiing is good for the highlights reel. There are old skiers and there are bold skiers, but there are no old, bold skiers.
So Neil coming up with a different version of Only the Good Die Young.
Cosmin coming on down to the Luca's left part of the bottom of the face here. Looks like he's searching for a feature.
Fairly conservative though, like he seems pretty motivated out of the start gate and on this first air, and then has consequently kind of surrounded features on his, not surrounded but passed by features on.
A little bit too much feature avoidance for the judges' liking, in my opinion. Going to be tough to pull a big score when you're skiing past features that other people have hit. No disrespect to his riding. He's obviously a very talented skier. Solid turns, in control, good technique, good fluidity. But the air and style category is pretty crucial to getting a good score. And I think it was probably a little bit lacking today. Whether it was because of conditions, because of light, because of not sufficient time to scope a line. Who knows? Maybe he just wants to keep on his feet and come back to send it another day.
And I think it's totally fair as a rider if you say, hey, to them, take it easy. There's been so many crashes. It's not the conditions that I like, you know, to push it in a competition and just, you know, shut down the gear or two. Let's see how Henry Edmondson from Australia is dealing with that. Neil, I'm a little bit shocked. We have 8 snowboarders here competing. There is 2 Australians. There's 1 from New Zealand. There's 2 from Great Britain. And 1 single Austrian.
Yeah, I guess you gotta be first language English to be good at snowboarding on shitty snow.
Austrian snowboarders, where are you? You know, I happily.
You said they stay home when they're not, when they're not good snow. Wow, really losing the words of England, and unfortunately Henry is also losing a bit of control, taking a couple of butt checks already on the challenging old Avi debris here. Man, it just looks so challenged. Look at that. Sahara sand in refrozen ice balls. Not what you want to be snowboarding on.
Well, snowboarding was built for powder, right? It was California surfers were among the first to put their surfboards onto snow and say, wow, this is going to be fun in snow as well. And water is typically soft, so they've been invented snowboarding for riding on soft snow, not for the conditions.
You don't see a lot of surfing on frozen ice.
No. I think even like the alpine racing and snowboarding, to me, is a thing of the past. When it was fun, when before skiing realized that you can carve on skis, snowboarders showed the skiers that carving is fun. But I think snowboarding should go back to its roots and stick to powder snow.
Yeah, I mean, skiing learnt a lot from snowboarding. It's been inspiring for snowboarding to change skiing in a positive way that it has. And now snowboarding's trying to learn how to ride ice from skiing, and they're like, well, you can have that back skiing. We don't really want that. We don't need that.
Exactly.
We can do it, but we don't like to.
And we see it in the competitions so much. When there's snow, it's good. The snowboarders, especially the girls, are putting up amazing shows. And as soon as the faces are tracked out, because they have to start at the end of the competitor's field, or it's conditions like this today, the snowboarders are struggling very much to make it look like even I would.
Yeah, Henry going for a tree stool there. The tree stool front roll revert. Not. I'm enjoying watching it, but it's probably not doing wonders for his score. Just, I mean, like the snow just doesn't look that friendly. And I'm sorry to keep complaining about the snow. Snow is snow. They say there's no bad snow. Just
difficult to ride snow.
Yeah. It's either good snow or it's good training, right? So Henry getting some really good training today.
Yeah. Once again, snowboarding was not meant for these conditions. Yeah. Definitely not. And I'm pretty sure that Henry is stoked to be at the bottom and approaching a finish line. After one of the more gruesome competition experiences in his life. Henry, stick to the snowboarding wall, stick to comps. I really hope for you next time it's going to be a foot or 2 off fresh powder and slashes and jumps from top to bottom with a lot of fun.
Hope it's a bunch of fresh powder for all of us.
And I hope you guys are glued to the screen for Martin Roskov from Bulgaria. Definitely one of Bulgaria's, if not Bulgaria's best free skier. His dad is super passionate ski bum. Yeah, Martin told me yesterday everything he knows, which is about the mountain, he learned from his dad. And so passionate. Those Bulgarian crew traveling such a long way from their home mountain Bansko all the way from Fieberbrunn just for this comp.
It is a long way. They had a comp at Bansko this year as well, right? I believe.
Yep. So we should have him in our
Yeah, but I think as a junior, you might not have been able to compete. Maybe snuck his way in. I'm not sure. Martin ollieing over there. Nice. I mean, other people are like slowly making their way through that heavy debris, just ollies his way over it. Exactly what we want to see. The judges will be piquing their interest in that, sharpening their pencils, moving them towards the good side of the hot thermometer. They come out of the gate with 50 points. Ooh. And with moves like that,
whoa,
but not moves like that.
That was just a tiny bit over-motivated for that part of the mountain.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, he tried to shut it down to put his skis back into the foreline and get over to a different feature. I don't think he had to do that. He could have, like, kept it more side hill after he landed and ended up skipping those other features. But he said, no, I want to hit this. I want to turn. I want to hit the next feature, which is a great idea. It's great for the score, but that challenging snow, just catching one of his skis and a little bit back seat maybe. Couldn't quite get the weight over the front of the downhill ski, the front. But yeah, just as long as his knee is okay, which it looks like it is, when you catch your tip in heavy snow at that low speed and have a twisting fall, it can be bad news. So just really hoping that the knees are okay to fight another day for Martin Roskopf.
He's okay, fight another day, yeah. That's our last male skier of our under 18 ski category of the day. As we see a lot of juniors with big smiles on their faces passing by. I have Vaughn Hardwick somewhere. Vaughn! And we'll call him in for a quick interview. Let's see what the Aussies got to say about this.
Can he fit in a quick interview while Martin Roskopf gets down to the finish line? I think so. Here's Vaughn.
Oh, hello.
Hey Vaughn, you're live in the live stream. Fill us in a bit how you run today. I told people it's going to be pretty gruesome on the snowboard because snowboards were built for powder and this is not powder.
Yeah, it was really icy. Managed to get one drop in, but yeah, it was really terrible, the snow.
How's it to be in the start gate, looking forward like to a performance, you show your best of your snowboarding, but at the same time knowing it's going to be really hard to put proper turns in?
Yeah, I don't know. I had to change a few drops because I knew it was going to be terrible, but it was still fun. Legs got a bit burned.
How's the vibe at the start gate? Were riders like sad or like even like complaining about the fact that conditions were not like as good as you were hoping for, or was it just more well, take it as it is vibe?
Nah, everyone was just hyping everyone up pretty much. Everyone, it was a little bit negative, but it was alright.
You're coming to the end of your season. I think you have one more competition to go in Verbier before you get back home to Australia. Are you sad to have missed most of the Australian summer by snowboarding away all winter in Europe?
Nah, much rather be here. It's way better.
So you're taking the Austrian and European winter over the Australian summer anytime?
Oh, for sure.
Oh,
yeah.
Awesome. That's what you're here. So you're going to come back next year for another season of snow?
Yeah. I hope so. Just do the same comps again. Do about 8-ish, I think. But yeah.
Cool. I make sure when you come back here, we'll have powder for you on the field. Okay. Thank you, Vaughn. Have a good one.
So that was Vaughn, and we just had a snowboarder on course, Sebastian Clinton. Sebastian out of England, just going down here now, which is an unfortunate time to start talking about his run again, because I think it was the first snowboarder to hit that popular 360 air at the very top, and then the same cliff as Vaughn before going down here in the middle. And Sebastian getting off a very cool feature down there, but not working out for him, unfortunately. A bit of a flat landing and landing a bit side hill on the flat landing, so pretty challenging to keep it up on a board with only one edge, especially in combination of all those conditions, but very aggressive run there.
Well, imagine seeing the same run of Sebastian in good snow. I mean, a big killer. Stoked to see the Dart snowboarders out there charging. Yes, guys, give it up for us snowboarders.
Big up Sebastian, big up snowboarding. Sending it regardless of conditions. I think he was the only snowboarder to hit that air at the very top that we saw a lot of skiers hitting. This one here in the replay, going for the grab, putting in the indie boot touch, having a similar landing to the skiers, a little bit back seat. Then another cool air in the middle. I think same one as Vaughn hit before taking this one to doom. Look how challenging that snow is. It turns flat really fast. That transition isn't easy. Now, involuntary 360 and the ragdoll run out there for Sebastian.
Yeah, Sebastian, one of the British snowboarders who were a standout at the couple junior event this year. They all went big. I'm kind of sad there's only two of them here this year, Sebastian and Oscar later on. But yeah, promising for the future.
Yeah, good to see some sending.
Exactly. We had a great Brit snowboarder on the field world 2 years ago.
Sasha Hanna.
Yeah, half-Brit. And even
Yeah.
before that, Phil Man.
Yeah, I think I know who you mean.
Yeah, you guys watching the live stream, you know who I mean. And then we'll come up to me shortly.
We'll get back to you just after the live stream finishes and we remember exactly who that was. But Sasha Hanna, unfortunately, going down really hard here in Fieberbrunn at the Freeride World Tour stop a few years ago and losing motion in his right arm, I think, permanently. So big love to Sasha Hanna.
Well, permanently, so he's been really fighting on to get his arm back, so to say, and succeeded to some extent. But yeah, it was one of the biggest charges in the history of the Freeride World Tour in the snowboard category, for sure. So 3 more snowboarders to go, right?
That's right. Looking at the venue from last year in the background there, behind this hut, shaded in cloud where we're starting from today, that venue just behind it that you saw on your screen just a second ago is where we had the competition last year. Unfortunately not suitable this year. The takeoff's still too melted back and the landing's too hard. Not that they're particularly soft down here at the bottom, but a little bit more sun exposed and a little bit less wind affected. So here we are in the bottom half of the Viltiloader instead of the hidden bowl behind the Viltiloader.
You know what? It's awesome because this is the place where we can have a live stream, but condition-wise, it might have been nicer for the people to ride that back bowl today. It's not as steep, it has less tracks in it. It catches more of the sun, a bit more east in it, less north.
Yeah.
But I mean, who are we to make the call? Just,
well, we're the ones in the commentary booth talking about how easy everything would be that we don't have to do. Nicholas Frauenstein on course now. I assume this is a brother or some other relative of the Frauenstein of the Stina variety that we had opening the competition for us today.
It's the Frauenstein family. They're yeah, super motivated crew. Go from competition to competition. Spend as much time as they can out there riding. And yeah, it's great to see them improve. You know, like from comp to comp, you can really tell. Okay, learning to adapt better to venues, to the snow, choosing more well-scoring lines, putting more runs down without mistakes. It's really great to see those young riders evolve.
So Nicholas coming across the feature line, the feature border into the feature zone. Saw some other snowboarders hitting that cliff that's just below at the moment. So as we talked about before, as soon as you're riding past features that other people have hit, especially if you're not charging the speed to somewhere else, then it's not particularly good for your score. Nicholas staying in control though. No mistakes so far from him. But going to have to search out a feature if he wants to get on the podium today, I think.
That is true.
Unfortunately, taking a butt check on that one as he comes down into the face towards someone else that seems to be hanging out in the venue. I think and hope and assume that some kind of staff that's there for like safety or photography or recovering skis if someone crashes. Be a pretty long way to get lost if you're a tourist. But Nicholas just managing to get down to the venue there. Wee hand down. Not too bad. But like you said, flow, snow, boards are made for powder, snow, not refrozen spring conditions.
Yeah, thank you, Neil. I'm very happy you're keeping this in mind to spread the message. And we want powder.
Well, we would all like to have some of that, please. I think Nicholas as well. Probably thinking about powder days as he cruises into the finish line now and looking forward to the next one. As we see the finish corral there with Red Bull tent, sponsor wall.
So if there's one guy who should be able to deal with the conditions today in the snowboarders field, it's our next competitor from Great Britain. Not only did he win the couple junior event just a few weeks ago, his name is also Oscar Weatherall. So he can take all kinds of weather to be able to take all kinds of conditions. Oscar show those snowboarders how it's done. Second to last man in the start gate, Neil. We're almost done there.
Yeah, crazy. This has gone fast.
It's gone super fast. One of the fastest comp ever. Almost 70 competitors.
Yeah, I guess the rotating judging, the alternating categories is unfortunately got the competition through before the snow was really as soft as we were hoping. But
That's a nice way.
unexpected efficiency or not unexpected, but unusual efficiency in a freeride competition.
Maybe inefficient efficiency.
Yeah. Big ups to the competition crew for getting off a smooth competition, though.
Yeah, totally.
Tough.
So much effort going in any of those competitions.
For sure.
And it's awesome to have the live stream. Not that we have a job, but also, we can spread the word, the pictures to so many people all over the world.
Tagging a tree to a little frontside butt check there, unfortunately, for Oscar. Weathering the Sahara sand snow. Nice 3 there as well. Nose butter 3 maybe. Couldn't quite see from this drone angle. Traversing out towards the feature wall now.
Same area where we did see 2 snowboarders already. One, for example, unfortunately kind of hitting that other side of this ditch head on.
Ooh, and getting a head tag in the challenging snow there.
It is same as Sebastian before, trying to go as fast as possible, but it's just...
I mean, these guys can ride really fast, and they want to show that. They want to demonstrate to the judges that their speed and technique and control and aggression and fluidity is right up there. They've developed those aspects of their riding and their skill in that part of the sport. But as we've said before today, the snow's challenging and especially not made for snowboarding.
Yeah, we might have mentioned this now 1 or 2 times. But we have seen, especially, or for example, in Kappel this year, that in good conditions, the snowboarders are putting up a great snow.
Absolutely.
A great
great snow show.
A great snow show. Oscar Weatherall deals with the weather, deals not as perfectly with the rough conditions. And we have one more snowboarder, the only Austrian snowboard competitor.
You've got high hopes here, don't you?
Oh, I got hopes here, yeah. Well, actually, I don't really care who wins. All I wish snowboarders is they improve, and that they have good conditions and put up a good show.
Yeah. Yeah, guys and girls, skiing and snowboarding, Freeride family is here for you to learn and grow, compete together. That's what the juniors is all about. We'd love to get some more female snowboarders involved. So come along and meet the crew, come to a camp, do a competition. That's how you learn, and that's how you push the sport and progress the freeride level of each category.
And I'd like to move the camera around to just next to us, to our left. Maybe they can see there's about 20 of those young riders now getting on their way. They'll have the prize giving down at the bottom of the valley in 2 hours, and I'm sure they're going to make the most of the day and do a couple of laps in this great freeriding terrain.
Now that it's getting nice and slushy.
Yeah, now it's getting nice and slushy.
I'm going to go riding. It looks like a lot of fun.
If you go on the backside of the venue, those east-facing slopes, they'll be like perfect right now. Since Resort is connected to Saalbach, they have 70 lifts and about 300 kilometers of piste. It's huge. Or I think it's in 400.
Slushy piste might be a good call with side hits today, huh?
Yeah, but all those east-facing stuff going down to Saalbach, you can go off-piste. It's like 5 kilometers wide, and it's all open terrain.
Nice.
I wish Leon Köhler would rather be on that other side, looking down for slushy turns, then looking down this hardback venue. Leon Köhler, last rider of the day, snowboarder from Austria, on his way down, and then we can call this a day. And he has a big advantage in the traverse. He is a goofy rider. That means his right foot is forward, and he can face the mountain, and his boots can play dampening system as he does the traverse. Much, much easier than doing this traverse on your backside heel ledge.
Facing the mountain, Leon. The other toe-side traverse we saw from one of our earlier snowboarders did not go so well with a full-on face check so quickly. I don't think she even had time to get her hands down in front of us. So hopefully I won't see that like we did from Teddy. But, I mean, the snow was a lot harder then. Not that it's, like, fantastic now, but I think that it was even more challenging when the snowboard women got sent. A little bit tough for them. But Leon, on course now, making his way over towards the feature wall. One of the only snowboarders we've seen make their way all the way over to the stunt ditch over here, or the features next to the stunt ditch. What do you think we could be expecting here, Flo?
I'll tell you in a few seconds if he knows if he's going to be riding on the left or on the right side of the half pipe. It will be the half pipe.
Nice. Straight in there. Nice shifty off the air above it to get in there as well. And a little bit of a butt check while he's in there, but popping his way out.
On the other side again.
Going back towards these steeper lines. I think it's hard to see from this drone shot how steep this is, because It is really steep. Like if you put your board into the foreline,
this
if you point it straight downhill, you will pick up a lot of speed really quickly.
That's 35 degrees there.
Yeah.
And, the snow is not slowing you down at all. If you point it, you
no
accelerate to warp speed in no time.
Traversing quite a long way over to Luca's right there, but not sure if he's found a feature to justify that.
Yeah, I kind of like the going into the pipe and back out, but from then on he kept on traversing. That was kind of hard to understand.
Yeah.
I think the nicest part of his run to him is right now where he actually does have some soft snow and can put a turn or two down. Probably the nicest turns off his run down here.
Ollieing out of there as well. So it's solid run, like not many control issues. Nice shifty there as well. A couple of good shifties and popping around, showing that he's like talented and versatile snowboarder. But like you said, quite a lot of traversing for not a lot of features at the end of the traverse. Seen a lot of challenges for the snowboarders
shakes his
today.
Head. He seems not to be super happy, but we are happy because we can call this competition done, and everyone's down safe and sound.
That's right. No injuries. Got some amazing sends given the conditions. Some people struggling with it more than others. I guess technique was like really found out. You know, like if you have really good technique today, it shined. And if you don't have perfect technique, then today the snow kind of got the best of you.
Well, that's what I really like about today. All the riders we talked to and we interviewed, they say, well, we have to take it the way it comes, and they're still charged. And they show that the future generation of freeriding, is up and coming. They're not pulling back.
Good training today, out of good snow and good training. But yeah, I'm super excited to see these guys and girls progress. It's been really impressive to see what is possible, especially David Berger kicking things off with that double is mind-blowing. Other people following in his footsteps. Yeah. Big ups.
I think the kids can't wait to go down. It's 11 o'clock. No, it's 1 o'clock now. In 2 hours, they have the prize giving. Since there was no live touching, they will only find out who the winner of today's were once they're down there. Pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah, without the live judging, it must be a bit of a nerve-wracking wait until the results come in, huh? As we see some of them hanging out in front of the prize wall now already. As we're wrapping this event up here in Fieberbrunn, we want to say a massive thanks to the sponsors, Salbach, Kitzbühel Alpen, Tyrol, Peak Performance, Black Diamond, Lange. Really make this event happen. Red Bull, Open Faces, P3 events, the Freeride World Tour, including all the staff and the Junior Tour, the Ski Dudes, the Doctors, the starter, Derek Foos, commentator from the Freeride World Tour, working as a starter today. The judges, especially, hard job, lots of similar runs. Andrew Pollard doing that. Jess Hodder forerunning. Like we said, it's a big freeride family. It's a big crew that care about the sport and we care about each other.
And it's been a very long freeride week. I bet everyone is also tired and worn out from a week long of riding, of competition, of preparation, of meetings, of partying. And we have to honor to say the final words.
Thank you for joining us here in Fieberbrunn today. Looking forward to bringing you the next one. Got other competitions coming up. Tune into Freeride World Tour to check all of them out. Big love from us here in the booth. Myself, Neil Willerman, and Flo Orley. See you next time. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, I see you at the live stream from Obergurgl in 2 weeks. The finals of the Freeride World Qualifier finals. 2 Austrians still battling for a ticket to the World Tour. Max Hitzig already has one, and 2 others are trying to. And then, of course, the final of the Freeride World Tour in Verbier is up as well in 3 weeks from today.
That's right. I'll be back in the booth for that one. I'm looking forward to it. Lots of action to come. Thanks for joining us today.
Joe. Have a good weekend. Thanks, Noel. It's a good one.
Thank you, sir.
Take it easy, guys.
Ciao.